From Rock Hill, South Carolina, the second semifinal in the South Atlantic Conference men's basketball tournament between the 6th seed Catawba looking for a second straight upset and the 2 seed Lenoir-Rhyne, who barely escaped Anderson, the 7 seed earlier in this tournament. A spot against Lincoln Memorial up for grabs as we welcome you inside our broadcast setup here at the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. Tyler Katz joined alongside Andrew Rogers. Andrew, this is such a tightly contested in-state rivalry in the state of North Carolina. Lenoir-Rhyne won both regular season meetings, but Catawba forced overtime, a really good Indians team that hopes to fight back for a spot in the championship against the Bears.
Yeah, certainly 2 really good regular season meetings, and you heard Rob Perrin yesterday preview this matchup in his post-game interview, say, we gave one away at home in that December meeting, a game they lost by 4 points in overtime, so he feels like they could have split the regular season. It goes to show how competitive this Indians group was in the regular season. Should have our hands set for another good one here in this semifinal.
Couple of players to watch. You saw a lot about Catawba yesterday. Nick Walker was the leading scorer for the Indians in a really big win over the Coker Cobras, who led the league in scoring. But the big talent for Catawba in this tournament has been Chris Robinson, 14.6 points per game. The senior from Lincolnton, North Carolina, has been really a standout player for Rob Perrin and this Catawba Indians squad. Robinson will be a big key for this Indians team, Andrew.
Yeah, he hit all 3 threes for this group yesterday in their quarterfinal victory over Coker. He's Catawba's all-time leader in threes made, and he did it a little bit in a couple of different ways as well. A couple of rim attacks for his 18 points. And on the other side, Zaire Wells is going to be big today for Lenoir-Rhyne. He was held down in that quarterfinal win 2 days ago to just 15 points and 11 rebounds. But this guy is more than capable of exploding for more than that output. Certainly he'll be critical if Lenoir-Rhyne wants to be able to get to the title game and match up with Lincoln Memorial.
And taking just a look at some of the statistical comparisons, a better shooter overall is Zaire Wells, but Chris Robinson has the touch on the 3-ball. Wells, a few more rebounds per game on 2 teams who are the top 3 in rebounding in the league. You talk about a clutch gene and how important it is. Talk about Tay Smith, number 3 in white for Lenoir-Rhyne. Hit the game winner in the quarterfinal against Anderson with 2 seconds left in overtime to lift the Bears to that victory over the Trojans and set up a meeting in the semifinal.
They wouldn't be where he was or where they are now without him. He started overtime with a basket and ended the game with his field goal. Elite shooting from Tay Smith, and it was probably a down game for him offensively. He only scored 15 points, and 6 of them came in the overtime. So expect him and Wells to try to carry over fine performances in the quarterfinal round here into the semis.
Brent Owen, the first-year head coach for Lenoir-Rhyne, has certainly done a great job of turning around this program that doubled its wins in South Atlantic Conference play from a year ago. It's a 2-seed Lenoir-Rhyne, the 6th seed Catawba Indians, as we're set to go here in semifinal number 2. Opening possession belongs to the Bears. Conrad Luczynski dives for the ball, but his back lands out of bounds, and it's a quick turnover for the Bears. Rob Perrin and the Catawba Indians will have their first possession.
Expect much of this physical, in-your-face defense all afternoon from the men in blue for the Indians. They're going to get up in you. They're going to make it tough on the perimeter for these Lenoir-Rhyne guards.
The Catawba College Catawba Indians, we talked a lot about Chris Robinson as he cuts underneath the basket. Layoff glass for Nick Walker, the leading scorer in game 1 of this tournament in the quarterfinal win against 3rd-seeded Coker. Lenoir-Rhyne looking for a quick answer. Hans Lewis June, another key contributor for Brent Owen's squad. Julian Dozier, the 5'10 point guard, lays it off glass and in. We're tied at 2s through the first 2 possessions.
Dozier's very important for this Lenoir-Rhyne team. He's the point guard of this group as Robinson misses a triple, but he will lead this attack and hopefully limit Lenoir-Rhyne turnovers.
Cutting to the basket, Zaire Wells. He dishes it off to Luczynski. turned it over for a second before Nick Walker couldn't control it, goes out of bounds and stays with LR with 21 on the shot clock. Conrad Luczynski loves playing against the Catawba Indians. Set a career high in game 1 of the season series in points. The second time they played in Hickory, set a career high in rebounds. Looking for a big game from big number 44, Luczynski. The 7'2", 280-pound center for the Bears. As a quick layup for Zaire Wells will give the Bears their first lead of the semifinal.
Good to see Wells getting downhill. Lenoir-Rhyne in the quarterfinal game against Anderson took a lot of perimeter shots early in that game, but going inside here early.
3 ball from Catawba. It's too strong for Nick Walker. Ripped down by Tay Smith. He goes up the floor with emphasis, loses and recollects. Cut to the basket. Smith off the window. 6 points for Lenoir-Rhyne. 4 of them have come off glass. And 6 unanswered for LR after the opening basket belonged to the Indians. A dish underneath. Nice move, but Luczynski is there to get the block on Walker, going the other way. Andrew, this LR defense has looked good through the first possessions.
Yeah, making life difficult on drives to the basket. On the flip side, Catawba has not done that so far. 3 shots, 3 makes for the Bears.
Out Dozier, wide open triple, and it hits front iron, ripped down by Walker. Up the floor, the Indians go once more. White underneath the basket, back to the top. Catawba centers. Robinson's 3-ball rattles out. Hit every side of the iron, and it's a rebound for LR. The Bears only used 8 players in the quarterfinal overtime win over Anderson. Relatively short bench for first-year head coach Brent Owen, coming to Hickory from Eastern New Mexico State. Wells from the free throw line, nothing but nylon. Wells able to get the bucket. It's 8 in a row from LR in our first stretch of semifinal number 2. A meeting with Lincoln Memorial, the prize for the victor. A high shot by Walker, no whistles through contact, and it's taken away. Up the floor goes LR. Wells got his pocket picked. Montravis White stops, thought about a triple. And now he'll slow the game down, back to center court. White still in possession. Now the dish underneath. Couldn't control was Justin Banks. Loose ball taken away by Tay Smith. Fast break over and laid in with a nice touch off and kiss off the glass for the junior from Queens, Zaire Wells.
Wells making his impact felt here early on, but so is Lenoir-Rhyne's defense. Catawba made its first shot and has not made one since.
Caleb Jones dishes it off to Nick Walker, who's greeted by Luczynski. Goes over top the big Illinois native in Luczynski and is able to find the bucket. That stops a run of 10 in a row from the Bears. First bucket in 3.5 minutes for the Indians as well. Smith cuts right side, blocked off glass. Incredible defense from Justin Banks. Kicked off the heel of Dozier, and it goes out of play. Inbound coming for Catawba when we return here on Flow College. It's all Bears early in the first half here at the SAC men's basketball semifinal.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
Back here from the South Atlantic Conference men's semifinals, Zaire Wells has been filling up the bucket. 3 for 3 on the day. There's a reason that we mentioned him prior to the game as the Bears X Factor. He's been filling up the score sheet, Andrew.
Yeah, he's been really good here early on, attacking the rim. He's been doing it on both ends of the floor as well. He's engineered a defense so far that has made things difficult for Catawba in the half court offensively. The Indians just 2 of 6 from the field. But again, no surprise to see what Wells is doing. He went for 32 against Catawba back in December. The Indians did a better job in the second meeting just more than a week ago at the end of February. Held him to 13 in that game, but off to a bad start trying to defend the all-SAC first-teamer.
And a turnover gives the ball back to the Bears. Smith hands it off for Gabe Serta, who checks into the game for the first time. A couple substitutions during the timeout sees Sam Martin check in for the Bears as well. Triple from Smith. Back iron, no good. Ripped down by Chris Robinson. Athey checks in for the Indians, seemingly the only change for Rob Perrin during the media timeout. Robinson, top of the key for Banks. A roll off by Athey. 8 to shoot. Athey comes in, tries to get the lay, but instead goes too strong. It rims out off back iron. LR for a chance to extend the lead. Wells faked a triple. Now goes over to Hodnett. LR fought through adversity in the quarterfinal game against Anderson. Survived a scare from the 7-seeded Trojans. Now just 3 to shoot, but a tripping foul called as Tay Smith was going over to the left wing. This is against Justin Banks. It is the first foul of the day from either side, and now some extracurriculars.
A little collision there from Smith and Banks, and I think they both had some words for each other. There was no technicals handed out there after the play. That was better defense by Catawba in the half court. LR went late in the shot clock, and this foul occurs with 4 on the timer, but that's more of what we saw yesterday from Rob Perrin's group. They would force Coker into really tough shots late in the shot clock. They'll need more of that throughout this game. They did a really good job defensively, and to get to this point, held Coker to a season-low 70 points yesterday, or 71 points, or 75, sorry, and 35% shooting, both low marks. So the Indians defensively will have to maintain what they did yesterday, continue that into today, and right now they'll have to settle into this game and hopefully get some offense off their defense.
Well, Andrew, both teams sent to the benches while the officials will take a look at any potential technical fouls after a few words were shared between the two teams.
Yeah, pretty quick review here. There was no pushing, no shoving. I think it was just words back and forth, and eventually some of the players came in and broke it up before the 3 officials got to the area. So I believe this is just play on. We've got the initial foul on Justin Banks. First foul by the Indians in the game.
We'll see if that continues. At 2 in-state rivals, Catawba and Lenoir-Rhyne, faced each other in the penultimate game of the regular season in Hickory in what was a dominant victory for the Bears. Serta hands it off Hodnett. It's a 6-point lead for LR. Serta rolls off left side. Cuts inside, gets around everybody, pass back out. Hodnett's corner 3, splashes home. Largest lead so far for LR is at 9.
That is a tough shot from the deep corner. That was a good contest. The defender was there, but Hodnett able to bury the triple. Good defense is always outplayed by better offense and better shot making.
Dish off to the right side. Montravis White controls. He's being double teamed. Serta's right there in his face. Possession continues on a long 2-point shot from White. Offensive glass, but Serta is able to rip it away. What a defensive play by Gabe Serta for the steal.
Catawba's going to want to crash the glass, so second chance defense. We've got a foul before the shot by Sam Martin, but defending after that initial shot and the rebound, if Catawba gets it, will be critical. Coker did a pretty good job in the first half on Wednesday in the quarterfinal game against the Indians, and then Catawba's length and offensive rebounding eventually took over in the second half of that game. So it's important for LR to do more of what Serta did underneath there, to, even if they give up the rebound, to fight, stay alive in the play, because no possession ever and no play is over with this Catawba group.
Andrew, oddly enough, our two semifinals, Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial, Catawba, Lenoir-Rhyne, both played on the same day in the second to last game of the season, as another foul is called in transition. A few more words exchanged, but nothing more than that. And Andrew, if it's getting this chippy this early, we could see some fireworks later on.
Yeah, certainly. And again, you like with the intensity this point in the year. Both teams know what they're playing for. Certainly LR probably has a NCAA tournament spot locked up, but Catawba's playing for its season, basically. They were 9th in the region rankings, which does not count their win over 8th-ranked Coker, so you think maybe the Indians hop in front in our 8th place, but they want a couple of wins here later in this tournament and see if they can maybe even punch an automatic berth. So you're going to see a lot of this intensity throughout the game because of what's at stake. You're playing for a spot in the title game, but also for your season.
Well, Andrew, there's one way to guarantee it. Enough speculating about whether or not you've done enough to get in. One way to guarantee it, it's by winning the tournament. Catawba needs to take care of business today against LR first. Faked a 2-point shot. Walker now takes it. He needed to with only 2 on the shot clock, and it's ripped down by Dozier and the Bears. Dozier tries to bowl over. White instead runs into a brick wall. A foul called. And a whistle will stop play. White's called on the foul. Already 3 team fouls for Catawba through this point in the game. In that second to last game of the season for Catawba, 3 players scored in double digits. Justin Banks-Montravis White with 11, and Chris Robinson led all scorers for the Indians with 17. Only 4 points to speak of for the Indians thus far, as the Bears control, looking to add more. Lewis June caught in a straitjacket, now dishes it off to Martin. Only 5 to shoot for Julian Dozier, and there's an off-ball foul called on the floor.
Another foul late in the clock with 4 seconds, with Daniel just trying to front the post with Martin rolling to the basket. That was played good defense in sequences so far, but got to try to defend without fouling for the full 30.
Daniel, the freshman guard, called on the foul. Luczynski dishes it off Dozier. New shot clock for the Bears. Dozier can't get it. Loose ball. Martin fights for it. It's out of bounds off of Martin, and Catawba ball. And that'll take us to another timeout. Catawba struggling on offense. Only 4 points to speak of. Making things difficult, however, on LR's end of the floor. The Bears lead by 9, nearly halfway through our first half. Here in the SAC men's basketball semifinals, brought to you exclusively here on Flow College.
At LMU, every door is open. Each can help me build my future exactly how I imagine it. Let's check those specs, guys. And lead to a career where I'll have an impact. As a nurse. How are you feeling today? A social worker.
I guess I started when I was younger.
Or an executive of a multinational company. Take a look at the third quarter. I know LMU will prepare me for a career where I'll make my mark. That's a cut. Because whatever door I walk into, there's a...
Balance. It isn't just essential in your sport. It's essential in life, especially college life. It's everything you need to thrive in school, in sport, and everything in between. The key is just finding a place where you can pursue it all. Because the real beauty lies in the balance. If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
Back here from the semifinals of the South Atlantic Conference's men's basketball tournament. 1 spot in the championship taken by the regular season champions, Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters. Catawba, the 6 seed, Lenoir-Rhyne, the 2 seed, fighting for that final spot. Catawba has really struggled to come up with anything. They haven't scored in now 4 minutes, have missed 7 of their last 8 attempts at the basket. Meanwhile, the Bears have scored 13 points as Catawba's only been able to manage 2 down the stretch. A triple breaks that spell. Jayshawn Hawkins, the junior from Durham, able to find a triple. It's his 16th of the year.
Yeah, what a big shot that was. You mentioned the scoring drought, so that shot ends the scoring drought. But he was terrific yesterday. Gave him 12 points in 13 minutes off the bench. He only averaged 5 points per game in the regular season. Some unlikely Indians are going to have to step up today and make some big shots, especially from the perimeter. Another foul.
Foul called off ball. Whistles have been plentiful, and it belongs to Catawba. Ibra Athey booked on the foul, his first, but already 5 on Catawba. Lenoir-Rhyne nearing the bonus. Catawba just a single foul left to give. Dozier will get the inbound. Shot clock resets to 20, and Luczynski, it's hard to guard him with Catawba's height. Back out Dozier. A roll off left side. What a move for Dozier. Ends up short with it. Luczynski goes for it, and there's a whistle yet again, and it's staying or moving to Catawba.
Really good defensive sequence here by Rob Perrin's group. Knew the ball was going to go inside to Luczynski originally, and then did a good job denying the post entry the second time. That's what forced Dozier to go to the basket, and the contest was there from Daniel. Catawba's defense settling into the game. They've just got to stop fouling.
Catawba, the back-to-back SAC tournament champions. A foul called will send the Indians to the line on a foul called on Hans Lewis June.
This is a really good set on the baseline. Hawkins free at the baseline, and nobody picked him up as they screened his man along the baseline. He got free, and the defenders were late getting there as he went up for a shot attempt.
Chance to bring it closer for Hawkins. First shot is true. Catawba, back-to-back tournament champions. Lenoir-Rhyne looking to make it to the title game for the first time since 2019. A trip in which the Bears lost to Catawba in 2019 as well. 2-for-2 trip to the line for Hawkins. And Catawba drawing closer. It's now just a 4-point deficit to the Bears. Inbound to Hans Lewis June. Full court press from the Catawba Indians.
No Zaire Wells on the floor right now, so there's a foul out front. See, those are little flat fouls that go a long way because they add up the team fouls. So now every foul the rest of the way in this half will send Lenoir-Rhyne to the free throw line. But interested to see where the offense comes from for Lenoir-Rhyne without Wells on the floor. As see Dozier body up Smith or Daniel rather body up Smith and commit the foul.
Carson Daniel booked on the foul. More of that role player for Catawba who got booked. Handoff Tay Smith. He was the hero 2 days ago. He leaves this one short. Fight for the rebound, and there's another foul called. Still fighting for the rebound after the whistle.
I think Hawkins got teed up playing after the whistle, if I saw that correctly. Maybe not.
I'd like to see how this is called to the scorer's table. Both teams being sent to their benches. A foul called on Sam Martin and a technical foul on Martin as well. And a technical to Catawba's Jayshawn Hawkins. So 2 technicals, 1 to each side.
I'm not sure I like that. I think he just played a little longer after the whistle, and that's why the official teed him up. There was no words or anything. I think he just was playing too far after the whistle, and I think the official thought he was maybe too aggressive or whatnot going for that loose ball after the whistle was blown. You could see the official there call the foul on the floor there, and then the technical after it. So,
well, I don't think that's anything of fault of Sam Martin. He was on his back trying to claim possession of the ball. The only thing he could have done really was let the ball go when he was on the ground. I don't see anything technical worthy there from Martin.
They called it on Hawkins. after it. So Martin gets the personal foul, but Hawkins gets the tee, so no free throws.
That I can understand more. Good clarification. 2 technicals already before we're halfway done with our first half in a chippy semifinal. Daniel dishes off the rock to Chris Robinson. Little floater. Second chance opportunity was muffed by Banks. And it rolls out of bounds off of Luczynski. Stays with Catawba. Look at that last sequence there. Ruled out on Luczynski and looks like the right call off the right hand.
He's a tough presence inside because of his ability to block shots.
Looks like there's now a dispute at the scorer's table, as both officials will come over. Rob Perrin, a part of the conversation. I don't know if he's a part of the conversation, more so just listening in.
So they're clarifying the technical. They had Martin for the technical in the arena, but it was on Hawkins.
So that's all it is. Making sure the official book is correct, of course. Wide open look for Banks, decides not to take it from the free throw line. Now it's taken by Robinson with 8 to shoot. Back iron, nice offensive rebound by Banks. He takes the mid-range J and just a little off to the left. Third opportunity for Catawba, and it's Hawkins who hits back iron. No fourth opportunity for the Indians this time.
Yeah, credit the defense. The Bears stuck with it despite all those extra chances. Eventually they'll add up, so LR's going to have to do a better job on the defensive glass to limit these chances.
Dozier off to Luczynski, slams it home. Now fast break on the other end, foul on the way up. Ibra Athi heading to the line.
You can't blink with this Catawba team. They give max effort for 40 minutes as we get a look at Dozier's find on the other end. This is a great cut away from the ball, and you see why he averaged 5 assists in the regular season. Finds his big fella for the slam.
Wells booked on the foul, his first. Athi goes to the free throw line, a 76% free throw shooter. And the redshirt junior from Cincinnati, Ohio, sinks the first. Transfer from Indiana University East Campus. We'll look for a second free throw that connects back to a 4-point deficit for Catawba. Andrew, we're nearly just a halfway gone of our first half, and yet we've seen 2 technical fouls given, some extracurriculars in a semifinal for the right to go to the ship.
Yeah, you think this one has something on the line?
Tay Smith, an easy layup on the fast break. Again, we're working quickly. Back and forth we go. Lead back up to 6 for the Bears. Athi faked the mid-range. Tries to bounce past it, but it's ripped away by Zaire Wells. Fast break go the Bears. Dozier dishes it off to Wells. It's blocked. Back out to Tay Smith. His triple no good. Luczynski dumps it off to Dozier. Pace finally slows down on a pass out to Wells. Cuts towards the paint. Bounce pass Luczynski, loses it, 3 to shoot, and a foul called. Justin Banks will be booked with a slap on the wrist.
Good transition defense by Catawba, but couldn't collect the defensive rebound as LR gets a second chance opportunity, and this is just a mismatch underneath. Both Hawkins and Banks in the area, but tough to stop a 7-footer when he's 2 feet away from the cup.
Andrew, this is a interesting game. It's almost like you're getting whiplash every other possession. You'll go 70 miles an hour and then slow to a halt in the matter of seconds, and that's not on one side of the floor. Both teams like to go fast and then hit the brakes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you would think that this game would be a little high scoring, but Catawba's offense has struggled. They've only made 3 of its first 14 shots of this basketball game, so credit both teams' transition defense so far when both teams have forced misses and gotten defensive rebounds for getting back and not allowing any easy baskets. We've had to work in the half court and had a half court game at times because of what the 2 teams have done to limit transition hoops.
The other end, Montravis White keeps on the left wing for the majority of the possession. Now finally dishes it off to Athey. Back White dumped in and slapped out of play. I think that's a good play for Tay Smith regardless. He takes it out of bounds, but it forces Catawba to reset with only 7 on the shot clock.
This is really good activity by Smith. He fronts the post and just slaps that ball out of bounds. And this almost feels like a replica of what we saw Lenoir-Rhyne do in Hickory against Catawba in that penultimate matchup of the regular season. The Indians, Tyler, took 75 shots in that second meeting in the regular season. They only made 25 of those, shot 33%. And so we're seeing not as many shots as that last meeting between these two teams, but much similar, that low percentage because of this LR defense.
5 to shoot, triple from the corner, buried, and it's a long 2 from Chris Robinson. Make it 19-13. We've seen a lot of teams this week, Andrew, get fooled by the multiple three-point lines.
And you've got 3 of them here at Rock Hill.
The high school line, old college line, and current college line from near to far as Wells comes in, takes a kiss off glass, and finds a basket to win the race to 21.
You can't let him get to his left. If he gets left to his strong shooting arm, the left hand, he will finish that every time.
A pass inside. It looks like Cerda's called on the foul, trying to find the steal. Just too much contact on Nick Walker, as that'll take us to another break. Under 8 to go. It's an 8-point lead for Lenoir-Rhyne over Catawba. A spot in the SAC championship game on the line here in Flow College. Back here from the SAC semifinals, you're seeing the 2 3-pointers that have been made today from both sides, 1 apiece and then a long 2 to end the possession. Majority of the shots haven't fallen for Catawba and Lenoir-Rhyne from beyond the arc. 9 shots have been taken from three-point land. 7 of them have clanged out.
Yeah, and honestly, it's only an 8-point game, and Catawba's 27% from the field. So if they can get Chris Robinson going, he's only one of his first 5 from the field. I think Rob Perrin will be happy with this first half if they can make some shots here down the stretch, because this lead has not gotten any greater than what it is right now. 9 is the largest lead for Lenoir-Rhyne. So keep it within single digits, get the offense going.
Inbound pass, Nick Walker lays it in. Entering the game for the first time this tournament for Lenoir-Rhyne is Shem Sowie, the freshman from Calgary. First time that Brent Owen has gone to a 9-deep bench. Starting 5 plus 4 substitutes have entered the game. He only used 8 total players in the win in the quarterfinal against Anderson, perhaps trying to keep some players fresh for this semifinal. Sowie dishes off to Cerda. Rolls off left side, back out Smith. 3 to shoot, puts up the basket, but he's fouled as it clangs out. Foul called on Catawba's Ibra Athey.
Well, I'm keeping track over here at our broadcast location. That is the 3rd time Catawba has fouled late in the shot clock. You can see it off in the distance. The clock was down to 2 when that foul occurs. Again, good defense here in the half court, but once again, the Indians have bailed out LR with some late fouls in the clock.
Well, a great talent for Warren Central High School. Now in his senior year at Lenoir-Rhyne, Tay Smith at the free throw line. He makes the first to extend the lead to 7. 2 of 2 trip for the 77% free throw shooter in his career. Under 7 to go, an 8-point lead for the Bears, and a battle between the 2 of the North Carolina-based schools in the South Atlantic Conference. Fight towards the basket and a foul called. We've had a lot of whistles today in our second semifinal, Andrew.
Yeah, physical game, and we expect that heading into a game between two teams like this. Is see Walker get into the lane and draw the contact, which is the 7th team foul. So now both teams will shoot free throws the rest of the way in this first half. First on Dozier.
Dozier booked. Catawba, no more fouls to give to get LR into the double bonus. 1-and-1 shot is missed from Nick Walker. LR is able to rip down the board, and Julian Dozier will slowly carry it past the timeline. He takes a burst of speed off the left wing. What a cut to the basket, and Julian Dozier makes it look easy, lays it in, and the lead is 10.
Well, that was nice. You see why he's one of the best point guards in this South Atlantic Conference. Not only can he pass it, Tyler, but at times he will also score at a high level.
Fight for the basketball underneath. It's taken away by Nick Walker underneath the basket. Second chance opportunity on his own rebound. Here comes the third opportunity. That's still no good. And once again, no fourth opportunities awarded by LR. Other side, fast break. Hans Lewis June blocks second chance. Dozier fouled. They've had a lot of rebounds, two of the best rebounding teams in the South Atlantic Conference. LR ranks first, Catawba ranks third. You take a look at the rebounds today, 5 offensive rebounds for Catawba, 0 second chance points off those 5 offensive boards, Andrew.
Yeah, the second defense has been great, and that was something we talked about early. But again, Coker did a good job yesterday in the quarterfinal game in the first half of limiting those extra opportunities that Catawba got. The Indians got some offensive rebounds, had just under 5, but then those went up in the second half and they started to score more off of it, and that's when Catawba's at its best. They're at 15 points because they've not been able to score on some of these second chance opportunities.
Dozier sinks the free throw. 56% shooting are the Bears compared to just 26 for the Catawba Indians.
So you got 5 Indians offensive rebounds. They're 0 for 5 in those opportunities. So they're 5 of 14 on first shots in the possession, and then 5 misses to make up the other 19 shots in this half.
Long triple will bang out, second chance opportunity, and the announcer's jinx has happened a lot here in Rock Hill. It strikes again as Zion McDuffie, the sophomore from not too far away in Charlotte, is able to get the lay-in. Other side, foul called. Zaire Wells couldn't find the basket, and it's a Catawba foul on Carson Daniel, the freshman's second. A 10-point lead for Lenoir-Rhyne, largest lead of the day for the Indians, or excuse me, for the Bears, has been 12. Rob Perrin pleading his case on the sideline with the official as Wells lines up to shoot free throws. Leading scorer all season rattles one out.
This Lenoir-Rhyne group has been really impressive. Held Anderson defensively to just 71 points on 37% shooting in a game that went to overtime Tuesday afternoon. So they've got some really good offensive players, but sometimes you forget about how good Brent Owen's defense has been this season. Field goal percentage defense, 3rd best in the conference, and their 5th best scoring defense as well. But they have played some of their best defense when it's mattered most here late in the year.
Lenoir-Rhyne and Catawba in the second semifinal. Big triple from Jay-Sean Hawkins. Has a couple today, does Hawkins. 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Trims the LR lead to 8. Roll off, Hans Lewis June, back out Wells, kicked the ball, and picked up by the Indians. Other way, Catawba goes. Under 5 to play in the first half. Catawba needs a burst of speed and scoring to make it closer before the first half ends. Back iron, nice offensive rebound by Justin Banks. Bounce pass inside, foul before the shot.
That's really good work by Catawba. They knew they had a mismatch underneath with Julian Dozier trying to defend Jayshon Hawkins. And Daniel does a good job. He bounces it to Hawkins there on the block, and Dozier just falls down and maybe grabbed Hawkins there on the entry pass as well. So 2 on Dozier, and Indians slowly but surely, Tyler, just chipping away at this thing. They have not played up to par as they want to in this first half, but hanging around right now.
Certainly, and for Catawba, a abbreviated run, but a 5-1 run as the Indians are able to get to the free throw line for Hawkins. The 1-and-1 is true. Only a free throw through the past minute for LR. Hawkins has gotten the last 4 points in this contest, a chance for 5 with a second free throw. And it will roll in, hitting every side of the iron. So now a 7-1 run for Catawba.
No Dozier on the floor here with those 2 fouls, so Gabe Serd is the point guard. Be interesting to see how the Bears handle this physical pressure defense in the half court. Almost a turnover.
Kickball called instead, and it will stay with the Bears. That'll take us to our final timeout before the first half draws to a close. A 7-1 run for the Catawba College. Catawba Indians cutting into the deficit against Lenoir-Rhyne in the SAC men's basketball semifinal here on Flow College.
At Anderson University, we are on a journey, one that seeks to find the purpose for which God created each and every one of us. So we search, we grow, we dive in, and with a close-knit community, small class sizes, accomplished and supportive faculty, and a spirit that believes that together we can accomplish big things. The person we are striving to become doesn't feel so far away. So we push, we dream, we dig deeper, until our journey finds us as teachers, artists, writers, athletes, engineers, nurses, and friends. And while we're at it, we just might change the world. Anderson University, knowledge for your journey.
Welcome you back here to Rock Hill, South Carolina, home of the 2025 SAC Basketball Championships. A few stats to compare in this one. LR outshooting Catawba by 15%, and it's led to a 6-point lead. But Andrew, look out as the Indians are on a 7-1 run, chipping away into that deficit.
Yep, they finally converted on a couple of these offensive rebounds. Jayshon Hawkins has been a bright spot off the bench with 10 points. So final 4 minutes here are going to be critical.
Nice defensive stop for Catawba. Other side on the fast break, fighting through contact. Whistle will not get the and one opportunity as Hawkins couldn't get the lay. And the foul called against Serda, his second, team's 9th. And it will send Hawkins back to the line. Jayshon Hawkins, a junior from Durham, North Carolina, moved over to Salisbury for his college ball, sinks the first shot. Catawba, 6 unanswered. Looking for 7 in a row with a second free throw. Won't get it to fall. The lead is just 5 for the Bears. Serda heavily pressured, fight for the loose ball. Catawba has possession. There's a whistle, and they'll call a tie-up. That's surprising, Andrew. It looked like Catawba had clear possession, but now they'll lose the arrow while also getting that possession.
This defense is causing a lot of havoc right now. Jayshon Hawkins at the forefront of it right there. First to the floor. Serda in there as well. Does a good job to tie that basketball up with Hawkins. But LR has struggled, Tyler, here the last couple of possessions. They can't get into their offense because Julian Dozier, their starting point guard, is on the bench. And so the Indians, I think, have recognized that, and they're upping their intensity in the half court, but also they're doing it without fouling. That's the key part, because if they foul in this pressure, that doesn't do any good, because they're going to send Lenoir-Rhyne to the free throw line. So they're fouling, or they're not fouling, while playing excellent defense.
Catawba looking to continue the run. Back out, chance for a lay. Oh my, what a play. Justin Banks, a top 10 play of the tournament.
I think somebody just got a technical foul as well. What a finish from Justin Banks. It's an 8-0 run. Watch out, Luczynski.
Banks will get charged with the technical, I believe, on that scream towards Luczynski. So another technical foul against Catawba, one on Banks, one on Hawkins, and technical free throws on the other end from Tay Smith have a chance to cancel out that big play from Banks. Goes 1 of 2. Andrew, we've been covering the South Atlantic Conference all season. When's the last time you saw 3 first-half technicals?
Oh, boy. I'm going to have to dig into the archives of my brain here. Not this year.
Certainly not.
And not all from the same team, or 2 of the 3 have been by Catawba in this half. But, again, there's a lot at stake, so emotions are going to be a little bit higher, and the intensity level is certainly there. As this game grows on, though, you have to rein in those emotions and try not to let it affect you, and because these technical fouls, if they continue to occur, will certainly affect this game down the stretch.
Hans Lewis, June, 1, 2, and 3 points get LR to 32. The lead continues or resumes its growth for LR. 3-ball from Catawba, no good. Fight for the rebound. And a foul on the floor called against LR. Conrad Luczynski in disbelief as he's called on the foul. It puts Catawba in the double bonus.
This is just good athletic work on the glass by Nick Walker to leap higher than Luczynski to rein in that rebound and then get fouled. More offensive rebounds, and these are second chance points that are happening at the free throw line. 8 offensive rebounds by the 6-seeded Indians here in this opening half. That is why they are only down 6, despite 32% shooting.
LR, meanwhile, on a red-hot pace from the field, 55%. A 2 of 2 trip from the line for Nick Walker. He's now 2 of 3 from the stripe. A chippy basketball game. If you didn't have the score bug, you'd assume with the physicality this was the second half and not the first. Makes you wonder how exciting this second half is going to be. Tay Smith, well beyond the arc, now cuts in closer, takes the 3-ball. Nothing but net. Tay Smith just so good. What a smooth shot.
He's a big shot maker for Brent Owen's squad. That is not easy off a double screen or off just one screen, moving to your left to bury that shot. That's big.
Just over 2 minutes to go. Strong lay, hitting the deck hard. Carson Daniel, I couldn't tell. He either hit shoulder or head into the hardwood first.
Good to see him get up relatively quickly, because that looked scary in real time. Any time a player gets that high into the air, most of the time you see it on a dunk attempt.
Get another look here. Oh, right on that arm. Looks like that bicep almost twisted backwards, and he did headbutt the floor. And I think he's going to get checked out and head to the bench. Incredible athletic training staff over at Catawba. Athletic trainer for the Catawba Indians, Deep Singh. And it looks like he'll be all right and head back for free throws.
You got to be a warrior to play for Rob Perrin, because he expects 40 minutes of effort, intensity, and relentless pressure. And so these guys are built different over there in Salisbury. And so Daniel able to stay in the game, knock down a free throw here to keep Catawba right at arm's length. They haven't really had control of this game and haven't played well, but they're just hanging around right now. And these final 2 minutes will be critical. A 6-0 run makes it a double-digit game. If LR goes on a run and if you flip it around, this game gets knotted up with a 6-0 run. So these final 2 minutes to see who wins this sequence in this first half will be huge for both sides.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, the third member of our broadcast crew, Ryan Wilkes, will have conversations with both head coaches, Rob Perrin and Brent Owen. 3-ball is missed on the other end from junior Hodnett. A tie-up on the floor and another whistle as Hans Lewis June helped to his feet. Another foul called on Catawba goes against McDuffie.
It is a all-out battle on the offense and defensive glass. I mean, if you're going in there to get that thing, you better take your hard hat because there's going to be some contact, and you got to be able to play through the contact, and that's what Luis June is able to do to earn these free throws. He knows the contact's coming, but you got to put your head in there, man, and stay with it, and that's what he does to get these free throws.
6 the first does Hans Lewis June, the senior from Lake Worth, Florida, transferred from Florida A&M. He goes 2 of 2, and the lead is back up to 8. Montravis White up the right wing. Catawba at least needs another bucket or 2 before the halftime break to feel good about their chances in the second half, and certainly that helps a mid-range jumper from Montravis White. Gets Catawba past the 30-point milestone. Now need a stop on the other end. Serda, that start and stop focus, driving with the basketball. Off to Tay Smith, Luczynski using every inch of his height to get a layup, but it can't get the friendly roll off the iron. Catawba a chance to put some points together. White slows the pace of the game down, standing on the Rock Hill logo at center court. 3-ball coming, and it's just short. Solid look from Chris Robinson. Working quickly as Hans Lewis June. Turnaround fadeaway. Finds its way in. What a shot from Lewis June. Timeout, the use it or lose it from Rob Perrin and Catawba. And we'll remind you, as well as staying tuned for our halftime interviews, the SAC Women's Basketball Championships continue coming up next. The semifinals begin with the top-seeded Coker Cobras taking on the 4th-seeded Wingate Bulldogs. Then later tonight, it's the 3-seed Anderson Trojans taking on the 2nd-seeded Carson-Newman Eagles. It should be a fun time in the women's bracket. Coker, Wingate, Carson-Newman, Anderson, one of those 4 teams will be your SAC champion.
Yeah, all chalk on the first couple of days on the women's side, but I think all 4 teams that are remaining in that field feel like they have a really good chance to win that thing because in those semifinal matchups later tonight, Coker and Wingate split and Carson-Newman and Anderson split. So the rubber match, as you would say in baseball, in the semifinals on the women's side. Should be 2 fun ones here on Flow College.
South Atlantic Conference Championship games tomorrow, 4 o'clock on the men's side here on Flow College. The women will follow up about 3 hours after that in the ballpark of 7 o'clock, depending on how long the men's game goes.
Yep, you'll have the nets cut down here in Rock Hill. Only one team can do that. One of these 2 teams hoping they have the right to play for that opportunity tomorrow afternoon.
Whoever wins this contest is an off-ball foul called against Catawba's Zion McDuffie, but will have a tall task against the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters and head coach Jeremiah Samarippis' squad. Just saw him have an incredible win over 5-seed Carson-Newman in the game before this.
Not a great foul here away from the ball. See if McDuffie can convert these free throws as he was fouled away from the play.
Hodnett was called on the foul for Lenoir-Rhyne. It's his 2nd personal foul that he's booked on. And you just take a look at the foul counts. In the first half alone, we've had 25 foul calls between the two teams. Both shots are true from the freshman Zion McDuffie. The use it or lose it called by Lenoir-Rhyne.
This is a big possession. I like the timeout from Brent Owen. You've got plenty of time here to get this ball into the front court and run a set. And I think this is a very critical possession because a 7-point game compared to a at max 10-point game probably at halftime is big. Catawba's kept it right around this mark for a lot of this first half. As we look at some numbers here, despite the bad shooting, they've done a good job rebounding the basketball. 9 of those 16 rebounds are on the offensive glass, but the Indians need to stop because if LR takes us to double digits, the Bears probably feel like they can really break this game open with a nice scoring run to start the second half. So who takes momentum heading into this break? Because right now the Indians are lucky, I think, to be only down 7 because of the way LR has shot the basketball, how efficient they have been, shooting 54%, but also for what they've been able to do on the glass.
Rebounding battle has been excellent as well. 9 offensive boards for Catawba, 4 for LR, 2 of the top 3 rebounding teams in the South Atlantic Conference. Final possession of the first half will belong to the Bears, looking to extend the lead. Dozier looks for options, keeps it himself. Fight under the basket, pass Luczynski, 1 to shoot, gets it before the horn. Conrad Luczynski gets a little jump shot as the Bears lead by 9 at the break.
I don't think that was the play Brent Owen designed, but sometimes your best offense is late offense, and when you put in a guy like Luczynski and give him the ball, he'll make something happen. Just picks it up off the court, fades away, and drills that shot over Nick Walker. That's a big bucket and some momentum for the Bears heading into the locker room.
They'll look at this shot, but the third member of our crew, Ryan Wilkes, is with the head coach of the Bears, Brent Owen.
Here with head coach of the Bears at halftime between Lenoir-Rhyne and Catawba as Lenoir-Rhyne leads 41-32. So, Coach, what do you like about your team's effort in the first half, sustaining that 8-0 run for Catawba and pushing the lead back to 9 before the break?
Yeah, just really physical game, which is what you expect this time of year. And the thing I'm most proud of about our team so far is we're handling it really well. We're ready to step up to the challenge. Catawba they're well coached. It's just a very physical style of play. They're trying to get every offensive rebound. They attack the glass. They press you really hard defensively. I think our guys, outside of a few unforced turnovers that I wish we didn't make, I really like how we handled their pressure and their physicality.
So your 2 leading scorers, Tay Smith and Zaire Wallace, doing a really good job stuffing the score sheet, but Julian Dozier, smallest guy on the floor, has gotten a fair share of rebounds on the glass for you guys, creating second chance opportunities. What have you liked from Julian getting down low and making something happen?
Love that. We told them, we actually watched our whole game again. We played these guys a week ago. So we watched our whole game against them last night, and we just talked about it's got to be all 5 guys. All 5 guys have got to help. There's no leaking out in this game. You've got to go get the ball. And for the point guard to be doing that helps out a lot.
So you're half away from a matchup with Lincoln Memorial in the championship game in your first year as head coach. What's the key in the second half to secure that and advance to the championship game?
It's all going to come down to rebounding. We got to keep them off the glass. We're doing a good job of making them shoot some tough shots. They had a guy make a few that doesn't normally make a bunch, but we're doing a good job on Robinson, not letting him get any off. If we keep that up, then it's all just going to come down to can we finish it off with a defensive rebound. If we can do that, I think we can hold these guys to a low number. And then on the other end, just keep attacking their pressure. That we kind of try to spread this team out, and they over-pressure. We try to shoot layups on the other end, just taking smart shots and taking care of the ball on the other end.
Down here with Lenoir-Rhyne head coach Brent Owen at halftime. Lenoir-Rhyne leads Catawba 41-32. Back up to you guys.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Great stuff as always from you down there as the third member of our broadcast crew. This will take us to our halftime break, stats analysis, and more coming up through our halftime show. Lenoir-Rhyne leading by 9 here at the SAC men's basketball semifinal, brought to you exclusively here on Flow College.
Our roots run deep here at Catawba College. So do our ambitions. We're pushing forward into life-saving, cutting-edge genomics research, powering up with geothermal heat and solar energy, going after national championships, and saying yes to the impossible. and then delivering on it. We don't just talk about saving the planet, revolutionizing education for the next generation, innovating business, unleashing creativity, or pioneering better, kinder, smarter healthcare. We do it. Good change starts here, with us. And it goes far. Just you watch. Catawba College. Good goes far.
Back here from the South Atlantic Conference Men's Basketball Tournament. We'll take a look at some of the first half stats. Lenoir-Rhyne out shooting Catawba by a wide margin in both field goal and three-point field goal percentage. Andrew, the Bears lead by 9. What has been the difference?
Well, you heard Brent Owen talk about it with Ryan down on the floor, and we mentioned it in the open. How would Lenoir-Rhyne handle some pressure defense? And for 20 minutes of basketball, he said it, and I'll say it too. They handled it very well. I mean, they only turned the ball over 6 times, and the points off turnovers are in favor of Catawba, but that could be a greater number if Lenoir-Rhyne turned it over more. So credit Brent Owen's group. They handled the pressure very well. And as a result, if you handle pressure well and don't turn it over, you're probably going to have success on offense because they made shots. Tay Smith, Julian Dozier, Zaire Wells, they were all important. Luchinsky had a couple of baskets, including the buzzer beater to end the first half. And so that's the story right now is what Lenoir-Rhyne's been able to do, taking care of the basketball, and then on the flip side playing some elite defense against a Catawba group that shot just 32%. They only shot 33% in the meeting 1 week ago, and you heard Coach Owen talk about how important rebounding is, and they went back and watched that film from just more than a week ago, and so they emphasized that. They'll have to do it for another half of basketball, though, because a 9-point lead in this conference is never safe because of what both teams can do on the offensive end. But a really good first half from what Lenoir-Rhyne was able to do to handle the pressure and make shots.
Wanted to take your attention to a stat we don't have on our stat comparison here, but points off the bench. Jay-Sean Hawkins is the leading scorer for Catawba with 11. The Indians are dominating the points off the bench category 18-3. Just shows how deep this Catawba roster is, but for the Catawba Indians, it almost feels like a player needs to step up and take over this game for the Indians offense if they want to defeat the Bears.
Yeah, and you look at Chris Robinson as a guy that can do that. Nick Walker had 20 points yesterday in their quarterfinal win. Robinson had 18, and Hawkins had 12. Those were their 3 double-figure scores yesterday. And so far, Walker's been okay. He's got 8 points and 3 rebounds. Been a tough 8 points. He's only made 3 of his 8 shots. But Chris Robinson might be your X factor in this second half because when you're trailing, the 3-point shot is what allows you to make quicker comebacks and go on scoring runs because obviously 3s add up more than 2s, if you didn't know that, Tyler. So Chris Robinson, he's their biggest threat. He's the only guy on this Catawba team offensively that's made more than 35 threes this season. He's been terrific. He'll have to make some shots. But again, his shots have been tough shots that he's taken because of what Lenoir-Rhyne's been able to do defensively to hold Catawba to 32% shooting.
One more point of emphasis. 3 technical fouls called in the first half. 1 on Jay-Sean Hawkins, 1 on Banks for Catawba, and the final on Sam Martin from Lenoir-Rhyne will certainly be a story we keep our eyes on in the second half. We'll take a break, talk about what's coming up next here in Rock Hill in the women's basketball semifinals. That's next at the halftime report here on Flow College.
Facts. It is a fun pursuit of wisdom. A wisdom to find joy in meaningful work and to seek the betterment of those around us. We will create the communities of tomorrow. We will work to cure diseases and fight hunger. We will run for office and serve our constituents. We will give back to our communities and build the businesses that will change the world. At Coker University, we will search for a better future and build it together.
Back here at the South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championships, We'll take a look at the women's basketball bracket as that's coming up next. Coker and Wingate, the 1 seed, 4 seed, due up. Catawba, Carson-Newman, and Anderson in the 2-3 at 7:30 for a spot in the women's basketball championship. Wingate, the defending tournament champions, taking on the regular season champs in Coker, who have been on a meteoric rise this season.
Yeah, the semifinal Thursday, Tyler, is my favorite because every team that's left is obviously good, and all 16 teams on both sides in this SAC men's and women's basketball tournament are good, but this women's field, man, this is going to be good tonight because Coker, as you mentioned, a historic season. They've been great. They've been ranked in the top 25 for basically the entire spring semester, but they split in the regular season with Wingate. Wingate made a free throw with 4 seconds left to win that most recent meeting toward the end of the regular season. And then obviously at the bottom, Carson-Newman and Anderson will meet in the conference tournament for the 4th straight year. You think they know each other well enough. That's the nightcap at 7:30. They split in the regular season, but Carson-Newman has won the last 3 postseason meetings with the Trojans. So should be a fun night of basketball, and we've still got this game to go between Catawba and Lenoir-Rhyne that certainly will deliver, I think, in the second half.
I want to bring your attention just to the teams that we've had to say goodbye to on this women's field so far. Just down the line, you have a great, historically great team in Limestone who was able to sneak into the tournament. They were able to fight back against Coker before the Cobras ended up pulling away. Catawba put up a great fight with Wingate. Lincoln Memorial swept the regular season series with Carson-Newman before the Eagles took care of business in March. And Mars Hill, Emery Satoris has a great squad. Mars Hill back in the women's field for the first time in quite some time.
Yeah, you really had to earn your spot in this year's conference tournament. Lincoln Memorial, Limestone, the 7 and 8 seeds, really had to play till the final game, and even the top 6 seeds really had to play well to earn those seeds in this conference tournament. A lot of good stories here, and a lot of young teams. Limestone's the only real veteran squad on this women's side. Mars Hill, I think, had 1 or 2 seniors on their roster. Lincoln Memorial just had a handful of seniors as well. Same with Anderson. Catawba's a young group. Wingate's young. So this is going to be an interesting women's bracket when we come back to Rock Hill possibly next season. Should be a fun semifinal on the women's side here in the nightcap.
We'll take a break, be back for a conversation with Catawba head coach Rob Perrin on the other side here on Flow College.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Back here at the SAC Basketball Championships, a conversation with Catawba head coach Rob Perrin on deck. Here from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Just want to give a thank you to the South Atlantic Conference for promoting our crew based out of Jefferson City for entrusting us with coverage of this year's SAC Basketball Championships. It's truly been an honor to represent the South Atlantic Conference and bring you along the stories of all 8 teams on both the men's and women's sides of the bracket. Tyler Katz joined alongside Andrew Rogers to be joined soon by the 3rd member of our crew, Ryan Wilkes. It's a 9-point lead at the half for Lenoir-Rhyne. Ryan got the chance to check in with head coach Brent Owen of Lenoir-Rhyne a bit earlier during this halftime break. Now coming out of the locker room, we'll have a conversation with Rob Perrin. We'll see what his thoughts are after a 32-point effort in the first half, and we'll toss it down to Ryan Wilkes with Coach Perrin.
Down courtside with Catawba head men's basketball coach Rob Perrin before the second half gets underway. Coach, you're down 9 at the break, but you had a little 8-0 run there when you trail by double digits to get back within single digits. What'd you like about that stretch from your team?
Yeah, I thought, well, during that time we got stops. We hit some perimeter shots, and, we haven't been able to hit some perimeter shots to loosen them up a little bit. And then they got some 50-50 balls when they went on the run, and that's been key for us. They got to the rim a little bit too much. Some of our help was late, and then we overhelped from the wrong rotations. So we got to clean a lot of that stuff up. We try to talk about it a little bit at halftime, and hopefully we do that. It'll make it a lot better situation for us in the second half.
You got to talk about Jay Sean Hawkins, another good first half from him, double-digit scoring effort. What do you like about him, not only in this game, but the tournament he's put together to help you guys out in this one?
Yeah, he's played a lot better in the last 3 or 4 games, shooting with some confidence. I think he's starting to understand how to get to his spots and how to get downhill, so complimentary. And then when defense generates offense, so he's been playing better defense, so he's got a couple runouts and steals for some transition buckets. So you kind of put all those 3 things together, you play a lot better.
So here in the second half, it's been a physical game between you guys and Lenoir-Rhyne. What's the key here in the second half to continue to get to the free throw line like you all did in the first half and create some momentum going down the stretch?
Yeah, we did a good job on the offensive glass, or a decent job on the offensive glass. We got to continue to elevate our game there, but we got to make more of our first shots instead of trying to get fouled on the second shot.
Down here with Catawba head men's basketball coach Rob Perrin. Back up to you guys for the start of the second half.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Great stuff as always down there. Very interesting comments from Coach Perrin, one of the best coaches in the South Atlantic Conference, Andrew, and interesting comments there as his squad trails by 9.
Yeah, he knows what it takes, and it doesn't matter what players in and out. You change rosters. They've got a lot of turnover from last season, but no surprise to see where they're at here in the semifinals. They're going to have to play better, though, in the second half. You heard some comments about the offense and how they need to be better and more efficient. They've got to create more of those offensive rebounds that they were able to do, but also they have to convert those, because offensive rebounds are great, Tyler, but you got to be able to finish those opportunities, because you only get so many. They did get 9, but you figure that Lenoir-Rhyne is going to be better at defensive rebounding in this second half to try to win this basketball game.
Tyler Katz joined alongside Andrew Rogers on the call, third member of our crew on sidelines is Ryan Wilkes, our incredible producer and director Ian Johnson on replay, Jay West, and our 4 incredible camera operators. Kennedy Goins on the high cam, Max Bryant on the slashes, Molly Bukowitz and Itzy Ayala on the baselines. Your camera crew today here from Rock Hill, South Carolina. As we're back underway with the second half of basketball, it was a physical first half. We'll see if the second half lives up to the hype. Conrad Luczynski, turnaround jumpers, no good. Catawba looking to cut into the deficit on its first possession. Catawba looking for an opportunity. Caleb Jones, the bounce pass into Banks. Inside jumper, fight through contact, and it ends up in the hands of Conrad Luczynski. 19:20 to go here in the second half. Hans Lewis June cuts in. Jumper from behind the backboard, and he's fouled on the way up. Wasn't a high percentage look, but draws the contact and the foul.
Catawba foul, number 0, Caleb Jones, his first
Bailout, that's a tough shot. He was basically behind the backboard, or even with it along that baseline. You saw the shot hit the side of the backboard. He was fouled, obviously, but high degree of difficulty on that shot from Lewis June, and not a great foul by Caleb Jones to send LR back to the free throw line, where they've been really good in this game, 10 of 12 from the stripe.
Hans Lewis June makes the first shot. Caleb Jones was called on the foul. Despite being a starter, he's only played 9 minutes, has not taken a shot, and is now called on the foul. Jones has ripped down 2 boards. Lewis June, 2 of 2, trip from the line. Catawba's deficit grows to 11.
Put this in perspective a little bit, Tyler. Catawba basically probably playing for its season right now. Latest region rankings were 9th, so you've got teams right around that bubble, like Carson-Newman, who's still here watching this game, rooting for the Bears, because Catawba could steal a bid if they win this basketball game. This win right here might be enough to get them an at-large berth as Luchinsky's on the sideline, so Catawba will keep it, but just 6 to shoot. So the Indians could be down to their final 18-plus minutes of their season. Expect them to give it all they've got here down the stretch.
Catawba, and more importantly, head coach Rob Perrin knows what it takes to win in March. Back-to-back tournament champions looking for the three-peat. Or a couple unsuccessful three-peat attempts this year. Talk about the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Catawba looking to be successful on the three-peat attempt. Other way go the Bears. Intercepted pass. Incredible defense from Chris Robinson. Fast break the other way. Turns on the brakes as he gets just beyond the three-point arc. Robinson cut to the basket. Gets the foul from Luchinsky and can't lay it in.
You know, something to keep our eyes on here, Tyler, for the Lenoir-Rhyne. No Zaire Wells on the floor right now. I don't see him on the bench either, so you see how long he is out of this basketball game. He's not in foul trouble. He does have 2, but you would expect normally to see him on the floor.
Great eyes there, Andrew, as the first free throw is made by Robinson. The bench, either if there's no warm-up cover on that exposes the jerseys, the last names of the bench players that still have those warm-up covers on are shown, and you're exactly right. Zaire Wells, a man MIA.
So that automatically turns your attention to guys like Lewis June, Tay Smith, Conrad Luchinsky. They've got to be big. There's the big fella.
And Dozier gets the putback after the tall tree falls. It's the 5'10 guard in Dozier who puts it home. Was looking for the alley-oop. Couldn't finish it, was Nick Walker.
Right idea. They had some numbers. Luchinsky was late getting back to the play after he was on the ground, but just too high of a pass by Montravis White. Indians have done a good job taking care of the ball, but they can't turn it over in this second half. They got to get every opportunity they can at the cup.
Lewis June kiss off glass and buried. 47-34, largest lead of the day for Lenoir-Rhyne. Catawba needs an answer. A couple subs heading to the check-in spot. A dish off. Inside to Justin Banks. He's double-teamed. A pass back out. Loose ball clipped away by Dozier. Up to Lewis June. He fights through. Swatted away by Caleb Jones. What a block, but it stays with the Bears.
This is some elite defense on one end from the guys in white uniforms. Leads to the transition opportunity. Not surprised to see Caleb Jones and this Catawba defense get back in transition, but right now the concern for Rob Perrin's group is where are they going to get offense?
Luchinsky backs down his man, turnaround, side iron, gets his own rebound, fights for it. He's still being double-teamed, gets it knocked out of his hands. It stays with LR with 16 to shoot. Lenoir-Rhyne fighting for an opportunity to get to the conference title game. Last appeared in 2019, a loss to Catawba. Jumper quickly from Hodnett. Fails. Luchinsky with the offensive glass. Probably now a 4th or 5th opportunity on the possession for LR. And a foul will end the possession after free throws for Hans Lewis June.
Yeah, this is good work off the bounce by the senior Hans Luis June. I mean, this is a tough take, and to draw the foul and get some contact, LR's done a good job. They have not settled. They took a lot of three-point shots early in the game against Anderson. They made a lot of shots early in the game, but they have made a concerted effort against Catawba's pressure half-court defense to go to the basket and have been able to, one, finish through the contact inside or create contact and draw a foul and convert at the free throw line.
Athey was booked on the foul for Catawba, and Hans Lewis June comes up 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He's now 6 of 6 on the day. It's 49-34. Catawba looking for options. It's a Shot from the free throw line for Carson Daniel. He makes just his 6th shot of the season.
Got to play with confidence on the offensive end. That was a confident-looking stroke from Daniel. Got a good ball screen and was able to knock it down. All 5 guys have to be in sync on the offensive end for Rob Perrin's group. See if they can create some havoc on the defensive end. They've only forced Del-R into 7 turnovers, but they've scored 11 points. There's a turnover. Got to score here.
Certainly going the other way. Chris Robinson slows the pace down, takes an NBA range 3, front iron no good, and it ends up in the hands of Lenoir-Rhyne. Tay Smith lays down the hammer. Lenoir-Rhyne's feeling good, inching closer and closer to feeling comfortable for a bid in the South Atlantic Conference Championship game tomorrow. Posterization for Tay Smith as we head to break here in Rock Hill on Flow College.
If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Story for Lenoir-Rhyne has been Hans Lewis June able to get to the bucket plenty here in the second half. He's the leading scorer for Lenoir-Rhyne with 13. Tay Smith certainly getting in there and helping out as well. Andrew, it's hard to win a basketball game when in the second half you've only made 10 shots from the field.
Yeah, Lenoir-Rhyne defensively has done a lot of what it did in the meeting to end, or in the penultimate meeting of the regular season against these Indians. They held Catawba to 33% shooting. And so far in this game, Tyler, 32% shooting. The Bears' defense has allowed for them to have a lot of confidence and play well on the offensive end as well.
A cut inside towards the hoop and laid down by Justin Banks. Back-to-back possessions featuring a two-hand slam. One from Tay Smith on the LR end of the floor. Justin Banks counters it on the Catawba end. Points in the paint has been dominated by Lenoir-Rhyne today, 26-14. Lewis June cuts in free throw line. He trips up, back out, wide open triple. Side iron, it's been a low percentage look for both sides today. Only 5 combined threes on 17 shot attempts. Lenoir-Rhyne still leading by 13, 51-38, inching closer, 15 minutes away from a meeting with Lincoln Memorial in the SAC championship game here on Flow College.
On campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Lenoir-Rhyne leads by 13, and Andrew, after a physical first half in which we saw well over 25 combined fouls, relatively little here through the first media timeouts of the second.
Yeah, just 3 combined fouls, and that's important for Catawba's defense because Lenoir-Rhyne's made 14 free throws in 16 attempts, and when you're losing you have to play good defense, and you always have to play good defense without fouling. So that's critical for the Indian side, and certainly for Lenoir-Rhyne. They have to continue to do a good job to defend without fouling as Hawkins misses from downtown, because if the Bears foul, that gives Catawba free looks at the basket. It also stops the clock. The clock is in Lenoir-Rhyne's favor, even though there's a lot of time left. You don't want to stop it and give a team that's already struggling on offense easy points.
3 ball from Hodnett, nothing but net. Junior Hodnett puts LR up to 54. Catawba struggling for answers on the other end of the floor. The 6th seed in trouble has a foul towards the basket. Jayshon Hawkins will head to the line. It goes against Sam Martin. Lenoir-Rhyne has been outscoring Catawba 13-6 here in this second half. Catawba struggling from the field, 33% shooting, just 18% from beyond the arc. And a lot of their point production has come from the stripe. 14 of Catawba's 38 points have been from free throws. A chance to get to the 40-point mark as Konrad Luczynski checks back in for LR.
And good to see 23 in white for Lenoir-Rhyne back on the floor. And Zaire Wells has only played 15 minutes, does have 2 fouls, but we didn't see him on the bench there at the start of this second half. So good to see him back on the floor here, whether he was dealing with an injury or whatnot. But keep an eye on that, how long he plays in the second half and how he looks on the floor. But he's played well when he's been out there. 4 of 6 shooting and 9 points. Just another weapon for this Bears group.
54-40. Here comes Dozier flying through the air and can't get it to fall. Just like Jordan, he took off from the free throw line but couldn't get it to finish. A run-up Dozier with the interception. Up the floor goes Tay Smith. Pass into Luczynski using every inch of the wingspan. He doesn't have a chance to play it as there's a foul on the floor against Chase Daniel.
Nothing Daniel can do here inside. He's just lucky to commit a foul there, at least make LR re-inbound the ball here, because if Luczynski would have got that basketball clean like that, he's probably going to score, or that's going to happen.
The putback by Zaire Wells, and that's why LR wanted him back. Didn't start the second half, wasn't seen on the bench to start the second half. He's checking back in. Immediate impact, kiss off glass, laid in. Wells has the last 4 points of the ball game.
You see why he's an all-SAC first-teamer right there, Tyler. The awareness to crash the glass the first time, and then he's got active hands.
Catawba looking for a response. Largest deficit of the day at 18. Mid-range jumper, front iron, no good. Second chance opportunity. A foul will send Walker to the line. You talk about Zaire Wells, the junior from Queens, newcomer of the year, and an all-SAC first-teamer, had 15 points in the quarterfinal win over Anderson. Walker up to the line. A 56% free throw shooter, the junior from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, transferred from East Mississippi Community College to join the Indians of Catawba.
I think sometimes, go ahead.
A move to the bench, we'll see both Dozier and Luczynski get a well-deserved rest.
Sometimes things are easy as this, Tyler. One team's making shots and the other is not. LR has 9 more field goals made than Catawba. Has taken 5 more as well, but shooting 51%. And Catawba just shooting 32%. Not many teams can win games when they shoot that low from the field. That's why we've got a 17-point game.
Tay Smith took a backward shot. I think it was intended to be a pass when he was fouled. Chris Robinson called on the foul. It's on the floor, so an inbound coming from Lenoir-Rhyne. A dominant second half, outscoring the Catawba Indians by 8 here in the second frame. Serda back out And it's Zaire Wells who can't get it to fall. Second chance opportunity. Martin, no good. Fight for the rebound. And it's ripped away by the Catawba Indians. Daniel is, oh my, clotheslined. And down on the floor, both teams sent to their benches. And the concern right now is for Carson Daniel, who hit the floor hard.
I think he was the one that took a hit in the first half of this game as well. You could see that developing because his brother threw him the ball up near midcourt on the outlet.
And just wasn't looking, and exactly that got clotheslined by Junior Hodnett with the outstretched arm.
Yeah, and see, it looks bad when you watch it in slow motion like that, and I don't think there's any intent from Junior Hodnett. He's just trying to slap that ball away on the pass to Daniel. So it's not intentional by Junior Hodnett, but this could be a flagrant foul because there is contact to the face on this play. So I'm not surprised if the officials ultimately deem that as a flagrant foul. But again, not an intentional foul. Hodnett is making a basketball play, but just because it's a basketball play doesn't mean it can't be upgraded to a flagrant foul. If you make contact with the head, neck area of a player, certainly that can be upgraded to a flagrant foul. Interested to see what the call is here, but I'm going to go flagrant foul on this play.
As always, here at the South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championships, official review powered by Sky Coach as the officials are taking a long look at this one, and it's a really tough play. I mean, the reality is you have to watch this play a few more times than you'd like to with just how hard Carson Daniel hits the floor. Obviously no intent there. Neither of us believe that there is intent from Hodnett. I think that's an obvious decision from either side of the way you look at it. But you're right. Flagrants don't have to deal with intent, but more so where that contact occurs. More or less, if you think college football targeting rules, doesn't matter if you were intending to lead with the crown of the helmet. The fact that you did is a targeting call.
That's probably the difficult decision that these three officials have as they've stepped away from the monitor now and will discuss things over because I think they realize this is a basketball play. Is there enough contact to deem a flagrant foul? Take as much time as you need here. I don't think there's any need to rush through this. This is an important sequence in the game. Catawba's trying to make a comeback, and if they need to upgrade this to a flagrant foul,
well, not only that, but the officials taking their time helps Catawba out by allowing Carson Daniel to recover, and we've come to a decision. We'll listen into our public address announcer as he'll tell the rest of the crowd the decision that the officials have made. And Brent Owen does not look happy on the Lenoir-Rhyne bench.
So that's all you need to know, flagrant foul.
The question is what type of flagrant foul. There's a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2. Getting hot with the official is Brent Owen, first-year head coach for Lenoir-Rhyne, as he gets the situation explained.
Well, they've ejected Junior Hodnett. They call that a flagrant 2.
I don't see any intent. I don't see how you kick Junior Hodnett out of the game here. Andrew, you could completely disagree with me, but this is, and I'm punching the clipboard, in my opinion, rightfully so for Brent Owen. I just don't understand that call.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Again, you and I have talked. That was a basketball play. He's just going to make a play. Again, there's some contact. I'm fine with a flagrant foul, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna side that that's a flagrant foul, but I don't know if you can kick a player out of the game for that.
And for our Catawba fans who may be listening into our broadcast here, you have to understand, while there is a lot of contact on Carson Daniel, and you hate to see your player go down like that, Junior Hodnett's not intending to cause harm. He's not seeing Carson Daniel coming and trying to completely deck him to the floor, right? So, yes, if you're a Catawba fan, you have a right to be upset with what transpired on the floor as the free throw is connected here by Robinson. But at the same time, you also have to understand that you're taking a player out of the game that had no ill will. 2 of 2 goes Chris Robinson from the line. So Hodnett's day is done after the flagrant 2. All I can say is wow.
Yeah, and you feel for Brent Owen and obviously Junior Hodnett too, and his reaction based on it initially, I think he was told a flagrant 1, and then he found out it was a flagrant 2, and so you can't blame Brent Owen for his frustration, certainly hearing that call, because not only does that hurt his team, and Catawba gets 3 points and an extra couple of free throws out of that, but you get to see a young man leave the floor as well.
Not only that, one thing we did not mention, during that sequence when Brent Owen punched the clipboard, he was assessed a technical foul as well.
So they shot 4 free throws.
Right.
Two free throws for the player tech, or the flagrant 2, and then the tech on Brent Owen.
It's the second technical foul called against LR. There are already 2 on Catawba. What a sequence we've had here in the semifinals, as we're now back to traditional game action. Shot up, block made, goaltending the call, and the 2 points will count for Catawba.
So that's a 5-point possession. This was a 17-point game, and now it's down to 12 because you get 3 technical free throws and that 2-point basket. Good high-low action and the finish inside. So
Six points.
Still 12 to go. So this is a ball game.
6 points in 36 seconds, by the way, for Catawba. A foul called on the transition, and will stop our game once more. And it brings back in Julian Dozier. Remember, Dozier and Luczynski left at the same time, and I wonder if Dozier is coming back in so quickly after that because of the loss of Hodnett.
Yeah, Hodnett's a big loss, though. He's hit a couple of threes in this game. And Dozier, remember, has got a couple of fouls. LR's in a little bit of foul trouble. We'll see if it plays a role here down the stretch, but being down a role player could be critical. Not a smart foul.
And another foul called on Catawba. That's now 6 team fouls against the Catawba Indians.
We'll get another look at that play. I mean, they've got Sam Martin, who is not truly a big threat on the low block, double-teamed, and Walker just reaches in. Just not a smart foul.
Cutting inside is Zaire Wells. Back iron, offensive rebound. Martin fouled on the way up, or Martin getting fouled, yes, by Chase Daniel. Already 3, and it will push LR into the 1-and-1 bonus the rest of the way. Andrew, it feels like it's been about 10 minutes since 2 minutes have expired from the clock.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but it's probably safe to say, well, yeah, we still got about an hour until our first women's semifinal contest, so that one probably stays on schedule, but the way these 2 teams have battled and the physicality and the number of fouls combined in this game, expect these final 12 minutes to really be a grind and a long time for both these teams.
Just over 12 to go. Likely our next whistle will take us to a well-deserved break for both of these teams and a chance to regroup. Chris Robinson cuts off left side, back out triple, and finds a long 2-point shot, now changed to a 3. The official changed his mind in the middle, and they will look at it during the media timeout.
Yeah, it looked like initially he went this. He put a 2 out in front and then waved his finger in the air, signaling for a review, but then gave it the 3-point sign. Big shot, though, for Chris Robinson. They need his scoring.
LR, Zaire Wells takes a stop, dish back out Smith. From the free throw line, fadeaway is too short and rolls out of bounds. That will take us to our under 12 timeout. Catawba has cut the deficit to just 10. Don't look now. Here come the Indians. A huge flagrant 2 on Junior Hodnett. Ejects him from the game. LR and Brent Owen having to coach through that when we come back from break here on Flow College.
Mars Hill University, helping you move your mountain.
Mars Hill University gives me plenty of degrees to choose from.
At MHU, I get the attention I deserve.
MHU keeps me close to home, and there's tons to do in the mountains.
Over 60 courses of study, small class settings, a breathtaking campus. These are just a few examples of how MHU can help you start moving your mountain. Visit us today at mhu.edu. Mars Hill University, education that moves mountains.
Back here at the SAC Basketball Championships, you see a wonderful display of athleticism from the Spirit squad of Lenoir-Rhyne University as we take a look at our second half and game stats from today's game.
Yeah, the numbers trending in Catawba's favor a little bit. Still, that shooting percentage is not where it needs to be, but the Indians have made 4 of their 8 shots after halftime, and so that has rose the field goal percentage to 36, and Lenoir-Rhyne is shooting 33% from the field in the second half. So their 54% mark shooting in that first half has dipped down to 47%. So the Indians doing some things right here thanks to that little 5-point sequence they got because of the flagrant foul. We'll see if Catawba can continue to make this a defensive slugfest as this game goes on. The officials, Tyler, at the monitor, checking that basket by Chris Robinson that was labeled a 3. And we'll see what they keep it as. Sometimes the angles aren't good enough, so you may have to just stick with the call on the floor. That was a top-of-the-key shot from Robinson. If it stays at 3, though, it's his first 3 of the game and just Catawba's third. They're going to need some of those 3-point shots, maybe from some other guys to drop in for this team to make a comeback.
It's looking like the call on the floor will stand, but now there's an explanation given to Brent Owen. I'm not sure if this is just a 2 or 3, why there'd be an explanation to Brent Owen. A call here against Catawba, or the only call that could be made, would hurt Catawba and not Lenoir-Rhyne.
Right, just updating the coaches on the sequence of what they were looking at. Coach Owen may have had a question or two about what they were looking at the monitor, but you got to get it right. Certainly, if you know it's a close play on the line, there it's all important. Every point matters this time of the year.
Looks like the call on the floor will stand as a 3-pointer by Robinson. It leaves it as a 9-1 Catawba run with a Catawba inbound and a chance for more. Andrew, I might add quietly, the lead has shrank to just 10 for LR.
Yep. It has dwindled down, and we've still got more than a half of this second half to play. So Indians have to execute in the half court, though.
Just 2 minutes of game clock ago. LR led by 18. Turnaround hook shot off one hand is no good on the attempt by Walker. A foul called, drawn by Zaire Wells, and there are free throws coming at the other end of the floor with the Bears in the bonus.
Yeah, just not a good foul. Walker gets to a good spot here in the lane. Better defense by Sam Martin, and then no need to be tossing those hands near the ball when Zaire Wells is guided underneath. Because Catawba's in the penalty, and so LR gets free throws after this foul. Got to get back on defense and force the Bears, who have struggled to score at times in this second half, to put the ball in the cup.
Wells, a 71% free throw shooter, will miss the first end of a 1-and-1 taken away by Catawba. A chance for the Indians to continue to cut into that 10-point deficit, which once stood at 18 earlier in this second half. Back out. 3 ball put up, front iron. Second chance opportunity is ripped away by Hans Lewis June. Up the floor, Wells takes flight, rejected. Oh my, said not today. Other way, fast break, and Catawba slows things down. Pinballs around, NBA range 3, whiffed it. That was setting up to be one of the coolest moments of the tournament, and it ends with an air ball.
What a block by Zion McDuffie. I thought we were getting another poster here in this semifinal. McDuffie said, "Not in my house." Those two having some words for each other down on this end. I think it's just fun talk right now. The officials will probably keep a close eye on that, but what an elite play at the rim by McDuffie.
McDuffie still heavily guarding Wells. He'll now receive the ball. Wells fighting through. It's a pass to Sam Martin, restricted zone. Pass back out. Smith saves it over to Dozier. Inside, Wells, off glass and in. Gets the foul call and one. Montravis White booked on a foul call.
Another bad foul here by Catawba.
And McDuffie, excuse me.
Just not a good decision. This is a great cut and good ball movement. Martin first to start it. And then a great find by your point guard, Dozier. Just not enough, or not a lot of contact, but just enough to push Wells off to his right. But the ball movement elite there from the Bears, and they're going to get an extra chance here. Nope.
And one no good. Out on LR, the bench livid. Officials telling them to take a seat.
I thought that was off Hawkins real time. Officials had a better angle than I do from that far baseline.
And even people in the stands over on that end of the floor are saying to take a look.
Can't review it at this point, but down the stretch, certainly they'll be able to check the monitor on some of these close calls.
Catawba, a chance to cut in to the LR lead, which stands at 12. A nice spin move. The Spinorama finds a layup for Jay-Sean Hawkins.
What a tournament for Hawkins. He was in double digits yesterday. He's got 15 more in this basketball game.
Hans Lewis June goes down to a knee. Unsure what happened there for number 4 in white.
Well, he was defending Hawkins, so maybe he caught an elbow on this shot attempt. Let's see.
Take a look here. Oh,
Martin whacks him.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, Sam Martin went to try to block the shot, Tyler, and whacked his own teammate on this nice spin by Hawkins in the lane. Hopefully Hans Luis June is okay because they're shorthanded right now without Hodden. He'll check out for now. Seems to be okay, though.
An inbound coming for Lenoir-Rhyne, Julian Dozier, as Hans Lewis June is taken out of the ball game from Brent Owen. Get a chance to recover after the inadvertent elbow from teammate Sam Martin.
A big lineup out there right now. You've got Martin, Luczynski, and Wells all on the floor.
Dozier, nifty spin move, somehow lays it off glass and finds nylon. What a move from number 0, Julian Dozier, a junior from Detroit, Michigan.
More defense.
Now a steal. Wells, Dozier, liftoff, window, in. The lead grows for Lenoir-Rhyne. Brent Owen wants to congratulate his team on a job well done. He'll use a timeout here after the easy lay by Julian Dozier. We'll keep it here on a 30-second timeout. Andrew, Catawba, seemingly those chances to get back in this contest dwindling with now under 9 to go.
Yeah, turnovers have hurt Catawba when they've struggled to score. If you're turning the ball over and struggling to shoot, that's a recipe for disaster. And LR has not only forced turnovers, but they've scored off of them. It's very similar, Tyler, to the offensive rebound and the second chance points. It's great if you force turnovers, but you got to be able to convert sometimes. And the Bears right now have 14 points off of those Catawba 11 errors in this basketball game. And at the forefront of this spectacular Lenoir-Rhyne defense has been Zaire Wells. 4 steals in 21 minutes. Him and Tay Smith have combined for 7 of their 9 steals. Wells has had a couple here in the second half. Their defense has been elite in this basketball game. So has Catawba's, though, at times. We've seen some really, really good plays in this tournament.
Catawba looking for an answer, keeping their season alive. There's only one way to guarantee that you play another game this season for the Indians, and that's by defeating the number 2 overall seed in this men's bracket, Lenoir-Rhyne, trailing by 14 down the stretch. Knocked out of bounds, and another inbound comes to Montravis White. Rolls off Luczynski. A cut inside, off glass, put back, no good. Nice board by Julian Dozier going the other way. He picks up the speed up the left wing. Rolls inside, dish out. Smith for 3, fouled and 1. Chance for a 4-point play for Tay Smith. LR is feeling themselves every sort of way, shooting 50% from the field.
Look who sets it up, Tyler. Julian Dozier. Tay Smith buries the triple, but he doesn't get that opportunity without Julian Dozier and his playmaking ability. This guy is only 5'10", but he plays like he's 6'5", the way he's all around the floor. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Guy's doing everything for his basketball team here in March.
Yeah, not necessarily triple-double watch yet, but has certainly got his numbers in 3 categories up there for the Bears. Dozier, such a great guard for Brent Owens' squad. A foul called as cutting to the basket was Jayshawn Hawkins. He'll grab what appears to be his lower back in pain as he was a little slow to get up, but he's up and heading to the free throw line as Serta called on the foul, his 3rd.
Every good basketball team has to have a really good point guard. You cannot have success in basketball and even in postseason basketball without a good point guard that can be the leader of your basketball team, can engineer your offense. They don't have to be a scorer. They just have to know the game, understand situations, and make plays for others, and that's what Julian Dozier does. And at times, if you get extra offense from those guys, man, you're going to have a lot of success. That's why Lenoir-Rhyne is winning, because their point guard play has been terrific from Julian Dozier to set up others to have a lot of success.
8 straight points for the Bears in 70 seconds. That run could potentially continue after an empty trip to the free throw line for Hawkins. Bowled over by Wells. He takes flight and rejected by Iron. That was about to be on SportsCenter tonight. Instead, you can hang up the phone with Scott Van Pelt as he's rejected by the rim. That'll take us to another break. Lenoir-Rhyne 69, Catawba 51 for a spot in tomorrow's championship game against Lincoln Memorial. We'll be back here for the remainder of our second half here on Flow College.
What is a lab of difference making? It's a place. A safe place. A safe place to explore and experiment. It's a place to focus and question your perceived notions. To step out of your comfort zone and be bold, brave, and different. Or to shake things up and try something new. It's Wingate.
The South Atlantic Conference welcomes you back to our coverage here on Flow College at the SAC Basketball Championships. A lot of great rejections, some from the block, some from the rim, but Lenoir-Rhyne has been able to make the baskets fall nonetheless. 49% from the field. Go Lenoir-Rhyne as the Bears lead by 18.
Tyler, I'm going to guess that Zaire Wells is going to make his next dunk. He got stuffed by McDuffie going for that dunk attempt, and then the iron got him the second time. Third time, usually the charm. I would watch out for Zaire Wells. He is a guy you don't want to meet at the rim too often. But if you're Zion McDuffie, I think you like the matchup.
Long triple, bottoms, incredible shot from Chris Robinson. He sinks a 3. I'll say on Zaire Wells, wearing number 23, we're getting to the point in basketball's lifespan where the number 23 is becoming sacred with both Jordan and LeBron wearing it. A pickoff, run down the floor. It's an easy lay, but with contact, it's an and one opportunity for Nick Walker.
Now, that's not a good sequence. Actually, I'll rephrase. That's a terrible sequence from Lenoir-Rhyne here. Give up a 3-point basket, then turn it over, and now possibly give up a 3-point play. Talk about an 18-point lead dwindling back down to close to single digits again. That is not good quickly out of the timeout.
Shot is up and true for Walker to complete the three-point play. Foul called off ball before the inbound. It's called against Catawba, already at their limit. So 2 free throws coming for Lenoir-Rhyne before the inbound can even be given by Dozier. And the foul goes against Ibra Athi.
Catawba foul number 3, Ibra Athi, his 4th.
As the lead stands, it is 12 for Lenoir-Rhyne. Sam Martin will have an opportunity at the line to break a run of 6 in a row scored by Catawba. Martin only a 59% free throw shooter. Going to the line for the second time today. He's now 1 of 3 after he went 1 of 2 on his first opportunities.
That's the interesting part about this game here down the stretch. The Bears have gotten to the line a lot, and they've done very well. This is a group that was 12th in the regular season in this South Atlantic Conference in free throw percentage, just 68%, but it's had a good day so far, but empty trip here, and so you can't have many of those here down the stretch. Got to make your free throws.
Catawba scored 6 points in 21 seconds. It is still unanswered with a chance to add on some more on this possession. 3 ball put up, no good, out of bounds. Easy call there for the officials to point it back towards the team in white and maroon.
Got to keep shooting if you're Chris Robinson. He's gotten some good looks here. LR has been a little relaxed on the defensive end. They've left Robinson open here for a couple of triple tries. Figure some of these are going to go down eventually if he continues to get open.
A race towards the basket, taking flight. Hans Lewis June puts down the hammer with a big dunk to get LR past the 70 mark. I swear it's almost like the dunk contest here in Rock Hill for Lenoir-Rhyne. A long triple, bottoms for Chris Robinson, add a foul, and the basket.
Again, Robinson, a little bit of space. We talked about it yesterday throughout all the broadcast. Shooters don't need much space. You see Luis June's finish at the rim, but this is going to be a long offensive possession here. It's the three-point basket by Robinson, and they get free throws potentially here from Nick Walker. So another possession where Catawba is going to get a lot of points.
An 11-point lead for Lenoir-Rhyne, an opportunity to bring it back within 9 with 1-and-1 free throws coming up here from Nick Walker. The shot is true, so the foul was committed on the floor after the shot had been taken, which leads to a chance for the extremely rare 5-point play. Second shot from Walker. 5 points in a row for Catawba on the same possession. It is just a 9-point lead for LR. Large run for the Indians. An 11-2 run for Catawba. Back out to Tay Smith. He takes off into the paint, gets his pass rejected. It stays with the Bears. Resets with the shot clock remaining at 13. Winner of this game takes on top-seeded Lincoln Memorial for the South Atlantic Conference Championship game tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Coverage will be brought to you exclusively here on Flow College. Luczynski, turnaround jumper, it's laid in.
Good recognition. That's a mismatch. Nick Walker is giving up several inches inside of the 7-footer Luczynski. All he has to do is just shoot over the top, and he's elite with that right-hand hook.
Bears and the Indians fighting through the final 6 minutes. Another 3-ball from Robinson. Can't get it to fall. Second chance opportunity. A fight with Luczynski for the rebound. Somehow the Indians come away with it. Robinson another chance for 3. This time it swishes home. And time called Luczynski down and invisible pain. Immediately the athletic trainers for Lenoir-Rhyne will come out. Didn't get to quite see what happened. We'll take a look at our replay monitor. Fighting for the rebound, got his arm tied up. And I'm not really sure where the pain is coming from. It looked like a traditional play, but either way, Luczynski still in a bit of pain.
Credit Catawba's ability there on the offensive glass. Never gave up on the sequence, and just hard to tell how things unwrap in the painted area as Luczynski's helped to his feet. It's certainly being a 7-footer and all that traffic is not an easy thing to do. He's kind of favoring that left leg where he's got a knee brace on it.
Michael Flicker, athletic trainer for Lenoir-Rhyne, helping him off the floor, as well as Tay Smith before he goes off to talk with teammate Julian Dozier. And Luczynski will head to the bench. The good news is even though he's limping, he is seemingly, for the most part, okay, which is the good news for Lenoir-Rhyne. Weren't able to tell the extent of Luczynski's injury when he went down. And we'll get an inbound coming for Lenoir-Rhyne coming up.
Well, hopefully he's okay, because without him, Sam Martin now turns into your 5-man. And he's got a good size to him. He's 6'9", 230, but he's playing with 4 fouls, and there's not many other big men on this team, and you need all the big guys you can get with this Catawba group the way they crash the glass.
Working quickly, the inbound goes to Wells. Tip pass, fight for the loose ball. Hans Lewis June recollects. And a fight for the ball. Technical foul called on Hans Lewis June. It is the 3rd technical foul called on the Bears.
I want to get another look at this. I think Hans Luis June was frustrated and thought there was a foul on McDuffie, and I don't know if he tried to throw a punch or what across the way. His attempt maybe at a punch was before that. You can see McDuffie talking there, but there was something before what we just saw on replay that initiated the technical foul, and they're going to review this. But let's state this, Tyler. This has been a physical, high-intensity game, and both these teams at this point, from their coaches, have to be told right now, don't let your emotions affect this basketball big game, because it already has affected the game. We've seen several technical fouls. It's been relatively even with how many techs have been distributed, but both these teams have got to rein in those emotions and worry about playing good basketball here down the stretch. See if we can get a look at it here. After this play,
it was right after the pass, says something, throws a punch right at the midsection.
He goes kind of low with it. I don't know if he was just kind of like, get out of my way or not, but
LR fans certainly don't like the call, the contingent that made its way down to Rock Hill from Hickory.
Certainly didn't make contact, so it was a quick review at the scorer's table. No flagrant, but a technical foul here to give Robinson free throws. And look where we are. I mean, this lead for Lenoir-Rhyne was 18 points, and
it is now a 2-possession game. And a lot of that has been mistakes. You talk about 2 technical free throws on a tech called on Brent Owen. A technical on Sam Martin earlier, a flagrant 2 called on Junior Hodnett. Just a lot of emotional fouls on Lenoir-Rhyne have caused Catawba to sneak its way back into this semifinal contest.
This is going to be a long finish to this game. I think at the 12.5-minute mark, it was 4 o'clock. It's taken about a half hour for these last 6 minutes of basketball.
To go off the clock, exactly right.
This game's far from over. Lenoir-Rhyne has got to execute, stay within themselves, and run good offense.
Julian Dozier race to the basket, a foul call taking flight. And do we have another technical called? Oh my! I believe this is on Julian Dozier.
It is. He did something after the play. Let's get a look at it here. Dozier is certainly found on this take. I don't think he liked how Walker jumps on him right here or tries to get over him and throws him out of the way. And that's what led to that. Again, I don't think Walker intends to do this because he's just going to block the shot. See, his momentum's taking him to Dozier. He's trying to get out of the way and not step on him. And Dozier kind of touches him away, and that's what leads to the tech. Oh, boy.
And this gives Catawba a chance to draw within 4. By the way, great camera work on our baseline over there. It's the Ayala Carson-Newman track and field athlete running the camera on the baseline.
I'm not sure I want to be running a camera in
No,
this game.
no.
for
I
the level
feel
of intensity.
awful for our camera women down on the baselines. They are on the front lines of this all-out war.
Yeah, this is a brawl. I mean, there's so many different terms. We're going to have to Google some synonyms for brawl and battle and all the
Andrew,
action that's happening.
I got an opportunity pregame to talk to some members of the media for Lenoir-Rhyne and was asking in-state rivalry or in-state opponent with Catawba and mentioned, obviously Wingate, the bigger opponent and bigger rival for Lenoir-Rhyne. After this game, it might be Catawba.
Correct. Certainly that is the case. So Robinson makes 2 free throws because of the tech, so now we'll shoot Dozier's free throw. So this could cancel out, which would favor Catawba because the technical foul would allow them to match the free throws here from Dozier. So they do. They just cancel out, and basically it's a defensive stop for Catawba. They get the ball back and can try to trim away at this 6-point deficit.
Still a lot of time, 5.5 minutes to go in an intense semifinal. Lenoir-Rhyne watching with very interested eyes and ears, or Lincoln Memorial, as they await the winner of this contest. Loose ball, battled for. It's a fight on the sideline. Whistle, Catawba ball. It was difficult to tell. The standing players on Catawba's bench got in the way of our angle to see what exactly happened there. Yep, and it just goes on the lap of, I believe, Tay Smith. So, like I said, it was difficult for us to tell because the Catawba bench was in the way, but an easy call for the officials who saw the whole thing happen from that second replay angle.
Chris Robinson's Catawba's guy. He has been great in this second half. 20 of his 22, Tyler, after halftime.
Just 8 to shoot for the Catawba Indians. A bounce pass down low, need to work with speed. Lost ball, out of bounds with 1 on the shot clock. It's not going to matter. A turnover anyway, gives the ball back to the Bears.
That's really good defense by Sam Martin. He's playing with 4 fouls and does a good job to keep Walker in front of him without fouling. Really good defensive sequence.
Andrew, I'll take you back to the first half. There was a sequence of extracurriculars on a held ball. Or before that, there was a little bit of chippiness and some words exchanged, and I believe warnings were issued to both teams, which has led to the increase on even the smallest things that have led to technical fouls.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to make certain that things don't get out of hand, and you have to do that in order to set the tone and make sure the game is played how it should be. As Catawba gets called for a foul away from the ball, so a chance for LR to capitalize at the free throw line again.
It is the 4th on Walker. Athey has 4. Hawkins has 4 for Catawba. Sam Martin has 4. He is the free throw shooter for Lenoir-Rhyne as he makes the first.
The free throws attempted in this game, Lord have mercy.
Oh, goodness.
60.
I have not even looked down at that stat yet. Thank you for alerting my attention to that. You're right, 60 free throws have been taken in this game, and Sam Martin will make another one. 27 points for Catawba have come from the stripe, 20 for Lenoir-Rhyne. And it's Robinson controlling for Catawba as the lead has swelled back to 8. Thought about a 3, pump fake, now takes the triple, side iron, put back, can't fall. Third opportunity for Catawba under the basket, and it's the way of LR.
Some really good defensive work on the glass by Lenoir-Rhyne. Catawba's gotten some good looks. Good look and pump fake here from Chris Robinson. A couple of chances at a follow, but the second shot defense has been really good. That was just a missed dunk by Banks, but a turnover.
Chance for Robinson, tried another triple, didn't think better of it, and dishes it back out. Montravis White now controls. A lot of time, don't really need a quick shot here if you're Catawba. Back to Robinson, into the corner, back to White. Takes a contested triple, side iron, no good. Fight for the rebound, 2 Indians are there and able to possess. 3 ball, Robinson, bang! My, oh my, it's a 5-point game yet again here in Rock Hill.
Chris is going to be Chris. He's going to keep shooting. That's his 5th three-pointer. Dangerous pass.
It's completed. Running into the scorer's table was McDuffie. Dozier rolls off, gets into the paint, and is able to get a friendly lay off the rim.
Once again, Dozier making winning plays for Lenoir-Rhyne. 16, 6, and 6 for Lenoir-Rhyne's point guard. They win this game and hold on. It's because of what he has been able to do on both ends.
Catawba taking the time. A 7-point deficit. Pass inside the paint through contact, and 2 free throws coming up for Justin Banks. Foul called on LR, and that is the day for Sam Martin. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. I believe the first foul out of this tournament. Either way, it is a foul out for Sam Martin. That'll take us to another TV timeout. A 7-point lead for Lenoir-Rhyne, but 2 free throws coming for the Indians when we come back on Flow College.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
This place has a heartbeat of its own.
The vibe that you get when you walk into the student center, you just get a vibe that you're here at home.
It's given me opportunities that I never thought I'd have. Everyone here knows everyone. That atmosphere is infectious.
The relationships that I've built here have been phenomenal, and I know that they'll last beyond here at Wise.
It's a magic little place in the mountains.
Back here from the South Atlantic Conference men's basketball tournament. Catawba has been chipping away, but it's been little mistakes here in the late going. 13 turnovers on the game by Catawba. Have given the ball back to LR a couple too many times, but a foul on the other end of the floor will see Justin Banks head to the free throw line for the Catawba Indians.
Oh, good to see Conrad Luczynski back on the floor, Tyler, for Lenoir-Rhyne. Get shaken up just a few minutes ago, back on the floor, and his presence will be needed because Sam Martin's fouled out. So he's their only center, true center they can go to on the bench, and he's been big, rebounding the ball 6 times.
2
so far.
players are now ineligible for Lenoir-Rhyne. Sam Martin fouled out. Junior Hodnett ejected on a flagrant 2. Second shot from Banks. And it's a 2-possession game once more, 79-73.
It's important for Catawba here. They can still do this pressure defense, but you don't want to foul. Make things difficult, but not too difficult.
Catawba, no fouls to give. A 5-second violation. Catawba will get the turnover and a chance to bring it back within a possession with a 3-ball on this possession. Worth noting, Andrew, though, don't need it. 2 possessions with 3s, 3 possessions with 2s.
Just got to get a good look.
The inbound lost for a moment by McDuffie before he recollects. 3 minutes to go. Taking flight, posterization. Justin Banks, take it to the bank. 4-point game. And an offensive foul. Catawba, possession away from tying this game.
The Bears are struggling to handle some pressure. Look at this finish from Banks. Nice pick and roll action with Chris Robinson. And then an offensive foul, and the Indians have all the momentum right now as Brent Owen will burn one of his 2 timeouts, Tyler. What a resilient effort from this Indians group. It's actually going to be a 30. Brent Owen's asking for a 30-second timeout, but I think they only have fulls.
Well, it's good to see Brent Owen got another clipboard after he punched the last one on the flagrant 2 from Hodnett. It is a 30-second timeout. The officials asking Catawba's players on the floor to get up off the bench. Andrew, there are no words to describe what this game has offered. It's been a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. There's been so much to unpack from this basketball game, and credit Catawba's Chris Robinson. He is stuck with it. The first half was not pretty, but he has delivered for this group in the second half with 5 3-point field goals. It's taken him 13 attempts to make the 5 threes, but he has been special in this second half for a Catawba group that always will play with heart, effort, and intensity for 40 minutes. No different here today.
Rob Perrin has coached through all of this masterfully. The veteran coach for Catawba trying to coach his team to a comeback in which his team trailed at one point by 18 at the 8:24 mark of this half. Catawba has done a great job of winning the last 6 minutes of this game, but just 5 to shoot. Robinson's triple, side iron, no one's there to recollect except Zaire Wells of Lenoir-Rhyne. Fast-moving Hans Lewis June lays it up, and one opportunity, and for Catawba's favor, it rolls off the rim. 2 free throws coming, and a Catawba foul called on Banks, his third, plus the technical.
Good aggression here by the senior guard out of Lake Worth, Florida. Good rim attack in that transition opportunity, but it's all set up by that defensive effort and Wells getting that defensive rebound. Those are critical at this point in the game.
Hans Lewis June will make his first. Andrew, I don't even almost want to reset the game, because if we reset everything, we'd be talking until the final horn.
Yeah, it would take a long time to break down and everything that's happened in this basketball game, but it's been a fun one. It's been a fun one to be on the call for, because it's been close at times, and at times LR looked like it was going to run away with this basketball game. But once again, Catawba has shown it's always going to fight, regardless of how things are going, what their shooting percentage is. They're going to give it all they've got.
6-point game after a successful trip to the line for Hans Lewis June. A roll inside. Lost ball stays with Catawba. Neither team has a foul to give. Both teams in the double bonus through the final 121 seconds, with a 2:01 showing on the clock at the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. Now sub 2. Montravis White slows the game down. The Catawba Indians trail by 6. Roll off, right side, loose ball, picks it back up. White at the buzzer, gets contact but not the bucket. Offensive rebound, and a foul called against Conrad Luczynski. It's his fourth. Luczynski, just by the nature of how he plays, going to rack up fouls, he collects his fourth.
Yeah, this is good activity, and what a scoop shot attempt by White. If he doesn't get that ball to the iron, Catawba doesn't have a chance for that second chance opportunity in the offensive rebound. So credit White for his ability to just throw something to the rim that almost went in to lead to these free throws for Banks. Got to convert.
First shot is true from Banks. That is now 29 points in this game, coming off free throws for Catawba. It's been a low-scoring game if you take away the free throws. Catawba shooting 36%, LR 52. Both shots are good. It's a 4-point game. Catawba gets what they needed to do done on that possession, and that's score at least 2 points to bring it back within 4. Inbound to Zaire Wells. Just the full court pressure now, still well too early for the intentional foul strategy from Rob Perrin.
Yep, good job by Lenoir-Rhyne to break that pressure.
And now there's the foul. It looked as intentional it can get. It's on Zion McDuffie. He just came in and swiped at the stomach, and that's going to draw the foul call. It looked like a pretty obvious call to me, Andrew. What did you see?
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of ticky-tack for how this game is, how physical it's been. I don't think McDuffie was trying to foul. I think he was just trying to poke at the ball. But for how physical things have been, I think at this point it's fair to say that, you know, any contact at this point is going to get whistled for because of how physical this game has been and on both ends. So got to make the free throws if you're Lenoir-Rhyne, and Catawba's got to continue to get some good offense.
Julian Dozier now has 18 with a 2-for-2 trip from the line. Catawba needs to make inroads, have been stuck trailing by 6 for the better part of 2 minutes. Either a 3-ball or a defensive stop, a must. Dish off, fight through contact, needed that one to go in for the and one opportunity. Catawba will get to the free throw line for free throw attempts 39 and 40. Zaire Wells booked on the foul, just his third. LR well past the limit. Remember the times of before when there were about 16 or so minutes left in the half, and I was mentioning how little fouls there were in this half, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm sure you're regretting that statement at this point.
Yeah, it's almost like saying how fast a baseball game is moving,
Probably
and then
identical.
you go into 17 innings.
Yeah, probably very identical. Most free throws, obviously, that Catawba has attempted in a game this season. Previous high was 32 by the Indians in a game against Coker in January, or rather 35 free throws in the quarterfinal game. Most in the regular season was 32, so the Indians have done an excellent job of being aggressive and getting to the line in this postseason.
Need a defensive stop here. And they'll get the turnover. Incredible stop. Jones comes in, gets the lay, and Catawba is within 2 with just over a minute left.
No lead safe.
Luczynski will dish it off Dozier.
Obviously no need to foul.
Right, full shot clock. This one's tipped away. It's out of bounds. Catawba basketball. We've got a game here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Timeout, Rob Perrin.
A rare mistake, Tyler, from Julian Dozier. There's the Caleb Jones steal and score his first basket of the game. And then once they get some pressure, or once they get the ball inbounded to Luczynski, he gets the ball to Dozier. And Dozier, with a rare mistake, just launches it way over Zaire Wells' head. You don't see Dozier make too many mistakes like that one. His pass just too off target. And now things have intensified big time here in Rock Hill.
You take away the free throws, Catawba has scored 49 points. Meanwhile, Lenoir-Rhyne has scored 24 points off of the free throw. You take away those, they're at 59. This is a 10-point game, 59-49, if you take away the trips to the free throw line. Instead, we're in an 83-81 game.
We are getting close, Tyler, to the record in a SAC tournament game for free throws made. It was set by Presbyterian in 1996's championship game against Mars Hill. Presbyterian made 38 free throws in that win in 96. They scored 82 points and won by 5.
Catawba has a possession, looking for the tie. Lenoir-Rhyne wants to avoid back-to-back games in the tournament in which they use the extra period. A roll-off, Robinson in the paint. Nice dish-off. This game is tied. Nick Walker's lay all the way down from 18. Had a foot in the grave, and it's a brand-new ball game with 39 seconds to go. Smith caught over to Dozier, Wells, and now Lenoir-Rhyne will slow the game down, holding for another possession.
LR was in this position Tuesday, Tyler. Tay Smith hit big shots. It was in overtime, but they struggled to finish the game when they had chances to win it against Anderson. Let's see what they do here.
8 seconds separate shot and game. Wells bowls over, a blocking foul called. LR will go to the line with 15 to go.
I like the idea from Caleb Jones. He tries to stand in front of Wells as he tried to turn the corner and take a charge. Just got there late. And the foul will give LR free throws, so Zaire Wells a chance to give him the lead.
Wells, a 71% free throw shooter in his first season in a Bears uniform. The South Atlantic Conference's newcomer of the year has a chance to come in clutch with a couple of free throws. Story of the game has been the trips to the charity stripe, and he gives LR back the lead with his first.
Both teams have a timeout, Tyler, so we'll see if either coach wants to use one after this made free throw, or maybe Catawba will try to get the ball into the front court and then set up a play.
Just one timeout for both teams. It's incomplete, so a two-pointer wins it for the Indians. Timeout called as they advance to the front court. One possession to be the hero for Catawba. The 6th seed looking to book a trip to the conference championship game.
Well, here's a glimpse, Tyler, of all the physical plays we've had in this basketball game. There's the flagrant 2. You saw the block at the rim. This game has not been for the weak here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We thought our first semifinal on the men's side, Tyler, felt like a title game. This feels like a title game. The nature of how physical this basketball game is, the dunks at the rim, the physical defense for both teams. I mean, this game, man, has been another classic in this South Atlantic Conference tournament. We still got 2 more games to go tonight, so.
The women's tournament expected to be just as fun as this one. Lincoln Memorial, the Rail Splitters regular season champions, await Lenoir-Rhyne with a defensive stop or Catawba with a game winner. It all comes down to one possession here in Rock Hill, South Carolina for the Indians and the Bears.
Well, expect Tyler to see the ball in Chris Robinson's hands. He's scored it well, but he's also made some really good passes. He's got 2 assists here in the final couple of minutes because when he comes off those screens, they're having to address and defend out closer to him because of his 3-point shooting. So expect him to be in some type of action here to get a good look, whether it's for him or the roller of whoever sets him a screen out here on the perimeter. But he is the guy right now for Catawba. The senior will have to make a play.
Robinson's got 25. The inbound will come from Justin Banks. And as expected almost, Brent Owen will call its full timeout. Both teams now out of timeouts. Certainly Brent Owen just wanted to see how Catawba came out, what the play call was, and having his defense adjust to that.
Yep, and Gabe Serta was a bench player that just inserted into the game, and he was defending Chris Robinson, so it seems like they're going to put him on the senior guard for Catawba, who's got 23 points after halftime and 25 points in the basketball game as we look at some numbers that were in Lenoir-Rhyne's favor for most of this basketball game. Tyler, at no point in this game has Catawba shot above 40%. Their field goal percentage has never been greater than 40% in this basketball game, but they have caused chaos. And look at the points off turnovers. That thing was always in favor of the Bears, and Catawba now has plus 10 in that category with 26
Catawba has only led this game for 22 seconds, and it was when Catawba led on the first basket of the game 2-0. All it takes is one shot made at the very end. Catawba has dug out of its own grave, coming back from 18 points down against the Bears of Lenoir-Rhyne, and here we go.
So Serta on Robinson. He was in the corner. Now they've put him on the block.
Inbound comes from Justin Banks. 11 seconds for the Indians. Bounce pass to Robinson. He rolls off left side, being double-teamed by Serta. Takes a 3-ball, whirls out, and rebound, put back up, no foul, time will expire. The Bears are going to the SAC championship. Rob Perrin furious at the officiating crew. A lot of contact, looking for the call, and it was all ball from Lenoir-Rhyne. Incredible at the end of the game. Lenoir-Rhyne, Lincoln Memorial for the SAC championship. And we'll see if there's any extracurriculars in the handshake line here. Both coaches telling their guys to be cordial and respectful. 84-83, Lenoir-Rhyne advances to the South Atlantic Conference Championship game. We'll hear from the third member of our crew, Adam Cavalier, with a, I'm sure, ecstatic Brent Owen. Certainly probably not too happy with the way he allowed Catawba to get back in the game. But the job is done. Lenoir-Rhyne going to the ship.
Yeah, what a final sequence. Some really good chances, and you feel for a guy like Chris Robinson, Tyler. Probably played in maybe his last basketball game in college, and, man, it was a good half of basketball from him. 23 points, got a really good look. Unfortunately, it spins out. Nick Walker stays with it, had a chance. There's some contact. You can't fault the officials for you don't want to let the officials be the reason why somebody wins this basketball game. And it was physical down low there, but Good job by the Bears, man. They needed a full 40. They found a way, and nice to see Junior Hodnett be able to come back out here and celebrate with his teammates after leaving the game and getting ejected in this one. But
Hans Lewis June, the game-winning block for Lenoir-Rhyne with just a second left. The women's semifinals resume coming up after this one. Stay tuned, folks, as we'll have a conversation with Brent Owen with the third member of our broadcast crew, Adam Cavalier. Wow, what a game, what a finish. LR gets the job done and is moving on with Coach Brent Owen. Here's Adam Cavalier.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler Katz. Adam Cavalier alongside a victorious Brent Owen. Brent, I don't know about you. I looked at my Fitbit. My heart rate was $120 there at the tail end of this one. How's your heart after, that was just a crazy game.
That was a wild one. I know Lenoir-Rhyne and Catawba have had a lot of battles throughout the years, played each other like 200 times. That was a heck of a battle. I'll give a shout out to Catawba for how hard they played and how they battled back. Their guys didn't quit. We were up 18 late. Things went sideways. Maybe the ugliest game I've ever been a part of. Just thankful to come out, win ugly in March. Win ugly in March. It takes what it takes, and we got 100 things to learn from this game. Hopefully that'll pay off later. But we're playing for a championship tomorrow in year one, and that's pretty cool.
An intensely frustrating game at times. A chair took a shot in this one. You think of all that stuff, and yet this team had the poise to weather that and get the job done at the end. What does that say about this group?
Their coach needs to work on his poise a little bit, I think is what it says. I won't go into that play, but just they all year long, like there hasn't been, every single game when it's tight like this, the one thing our guys have done is battled. And, that's all you can ask for as a coach. Hopefully battling with a little bit of execution, but their mindset, their toughness, and, teams that are together are willing to fight for each other at the end. And, I think Catawba was together, man. Those guys there's some tears in that handshake line. They were the 9. They beat the 8 yesterday. Maybe they punched their ticket yesterday and they're going to play some more basketball, but they're connected. We're connected. We all fought for each other. And it was, before we played them last week, I said, this is going to be a football game, fellas. Like, it just is what it is, and it turned out to be that way again today.
I think you alluded to it there a little bit. I know it's year one for you in the league, but my goodness, the quality of basketball in the South Atlantic Conference, when you get to this stage, holy smokes. And I think that's on display tomorrow. LR versus LMU for the championship. What do you have to do to get ready for a rail splitter team who you split with in the regular season?
Yeah, it's kind of been a two-horse race all season long. They had a really tough game. It was a very, very high-level basketball game that was played before us. Theirs was pretty. Ours was pretty ugly. But, it was, really proud to be a coach in this league. It's high-level basketball. I'm expecting they're really physical. They defend well. They're well coached. They shoot the ball well. Looks like we're going to be down a shooter maybe. So anyway, we're going to have to make some shots. They packed it in on us last time. We know we're going to have to make some threes to win. We've been shooting it pretty well in this gym. It's shooter friendly. So it'll be in battle tomorrow and all kinds of implications for what the week after that holds.
All right, Brent, thanks for the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler, back upstairs.
Appreciate it, Adam. 84-83, the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears, the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters for the South Atlantic Conference Championship game tomorrow at 4. Andrew, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, Tyler, you heard it from Brent Owen. It was a two-horse race all regular season, and how fitting is it to see the top 2 teams in the league standings battling out tomorrow in the South Atlantic Conference title game. How about the poise Lenoir-Rhyne had in its first 2 games, Tyler? Had to go to overtime to beat the 7-seed Anderson. Basically, this game was an overtime game for how long it lasted in regulation in this basketball game. But the Bears have deserved what they have gotten so far in this postseason, and 2 wins by 3 points in the South Atlantic Conference tournament. You hear every coach say it. You heard head coach Brent Owen say it. Doesn't matter how you win. You just got to win. Ugly wins just count as much as pretty wins. And Lincoln Memorial had a relatively pretty win the way they played in the second half and what Elijah Freeman did. So should be a fun one tomorrow on Flow College. There's some really, really high-level players stepping on the floor again tomorrow between Lincoln Memorial and LR.
So the top 2 seeds prevail despite a big fight from the 6th seed Catawba College, Catawba Indians, and that'll do it for our coverage of the men's semifinals. Stay tuned. An excellent couple of semifinals on the women's bracket. Top-seeded Coker against 4-seed Wingate. Then 2-seed Carson-Newman plays 3-seed and the Anderson Trojans. Well, that'll do it for my personal time here in Rock Hill, but a wonderful crew taking you the rest of the way. Can't say enough good things about our entire crew, from our sideline reporters, Ryan Wilkes and Adam Cavalier, for our wonderful camera men and women, Molly Buckowitz, Itzy Ayala, Kennedy Gones, and Max Bryant, our wonderful replay operator who's been doing a great job this entire tournament, Jay West, the producer who's been making almost everything you see on screen happen, an amazing job this entire tournament with 4 games to go for Ian Johnson. Of course, for my broadcast partner, Andrew Rogers. I'm Tyler Katz saying so long from the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. A fun day tomorrow in the championships and the women's semifinals coming up. This has been a presentation of the South Atlantic Conference on Flow College.